good, guys? It's Ilsun 4K. And once again, another episode of Everything Under the Sun. I know we missed this last week, and that was my fault. Long story short, I was getting my tooth drilled out, and I totally forgot that's when I was recording. We have a very special guest with us who I was supposed to have last week as well, but due to circumstances with me and forgetting dental appointments, we have Tim from Tapes From The Crypt here, who is a very, very unique guy who has a very unique business that you should all be checking out if you're into horror merch and apparel. And we're going to talk about that later. But yeah, Tim, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit? Again, Tim from Tapes From The Crypt.
Yeah, everybody, how's it going? My name's Tim. I run Tapes From The Crypt. I also am one half of Snack Season Sauces hot sauce company, as well as Tacos From The Crypt on Instagram as well. Avid, physical media collector, VHS tapes, video games, DVDs, everything under the sun. And it's great.
Tim's got a lot of free space that I envy. That's what Tim's I'm like VHS tapes. Those things take up so much.
Yeah, for real. We're running out of room though over here. Yeah, we're starting to stack up on the floor, which I've kind of slowed down a little bit because once you start seeing stuff on the floor, that's not a good sign.
No. I mean, listen, it's like anything else. I have to say I have like a little like thing I touched on YouTube about this, but I just don't have space for physical media. Like I went digging through the attic the other day because we're purging the house and stuff like that, and I was finding like old Power Ranger toys and old VHS stuff. And I kept the toys that I liked, but as far as the VHS went, I just had to part with it. I was like, I just don't have room for this. I can't keep this in my mom's attic anymore. She's trying to clear out the space here, and she's like, you keep whatever you want, it doesn't matter. It's like I would have kept the whole goddamn attic, but it's just like that space is so valuable. And like, I invest a lot mostly into this whole affair right here. So a lot of this is like, production PCs, gaming PCs, like blah, blah, blah. But it's just, I wish I had the space. Like I won't say what, but I asked Tim some of his favorite retro games, and Tim surprised me before and started pulling out physical copies. And I told him, all right, never mind. Stop. It's going to be awesome. When everyone sees this, and you surprise me with the rest of your collection. So yeah, Tim from Tapes From The Crypt, Tacos From The Crypt. If I could ask you really quickly, we'll talk more about it, but really, I forgot about the hot sauce thing. Tell us just a little bit about that. Tell us about the hot sauce.
Yeah. So, basically over the pandemic, 2020, we were all stuck inside a lot. So I started like messing around, watching videos. I got super into like hot sauce gauntlets on YouTube, and then like hot ones and like all this stuff that like I kind of just started watching.
Yeah. Hot ones. I watched that a lot.
Yeah. So started, making sauce, and then, my partner, who ended up being, an old coworker, he worked in the cubicle next to me, and we just kind of collaborated on the whole idea together. And before you know it, like it started taking off, and yeah, it's great. He has a big background in professional wrestling, which is cool.
Oh wow, I'm impressed. I'm a relative pro wrestling fan myself as well.
Yeah. He's got a lot of ties, and it's really cool, man. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I've my claim to fame with hot sauce is I've actually eaten an entire taco doused in Da Bomb hot sauce. It's on video somewhere on another computer. And then
I need that.
I've also eaten I ate Da Bomb hot sauce on a whole order of wings on video as well. Like I just kind of savaged that shit because like I don't know, man, like call me crazy. There's two different types of people when you eat that hot sauce, and some of us just like black out because like I don't know, deep down in my brain.
Look at my face. Look at my face right now. That is so nuts, dude. You ate an entire batch of wings and an entire taco completely doused in the bomb. You're a legend. Dude,
like, and the thing is, my friend owns a Mexican place, so I was supposed to like release this video to him, but I just didn't understand video quality enough that this really panned out. And unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to do it again. It was not my bottle of Da Bomb hot sauce, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not really afraid of hot sauces. It was as bad. Listen, it was as bad as I anticipated it being, but like again, like. I don't know. I just like I black out a little bit. Like I feel it. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you like I am all like I go like Marvel Immortals on you, but like yeah, like I go somewhere. And when I come back, I'm like it's over. Like
dude, that tastes like Da Bomb tastes like straight like battery acid. I can't believe you could even get it down. That's crazy.
It's definitely rough, and it's just like my friend was into doing like little dabs of it, and I did it on my finger. I was like I thought that was gonna be a little bit worse. Like it was bad, but it wasn't anything like death defying. So I gotta ask, what's your hottest hot sauce that you got? Like, do you have anything with like the infamous Carolina Reaper pepper or anything in it yet, or are you working your way towards like maximum boss level?
Yeah, we have some sauces with Reapers in them. I mean,
Nice.
we did a hot sauce with the horror host Joe Bob Briggs, and that had some.
Yeah, I saw that. And you have the Matt Cardona, right? Like,
Yeah, we had the Matt Cardona, and yeah, man. I mean, we have some hot sauce, but we haven't really crossed the threshold into pure like death
yeah,
yet.
you're
But
not trying to like that's not how you sell bottles of hot sauce. Like,
yeah.
people want flavorful stuff. Like, I don't know if you ever heard of Heartbreaking Dawn's hot sauce, but I actually know one half was a girl that was from my whole local area, and
Yeah.
her I think husband or boyfriend. I don't know the full backstory, but I know it was her and like her significant other went into business for themselves. And I actually was working at Tito's Burritos when that first opened up
Oh,
in my town, and they had Heartbreaking Dawns there. So this is like the second like hot sauce owner that I'm becoming familiar with, and it's just so funny that like it's this horror theme stuff. And maybe later on, if you got any bottles, you can show them up on the screen. But or if you
yeah, man.
want when this airs, I'll make sure. Like I said, I have plans to put like graphics and stuff into this, so
Cool.
I'm
Yeah,
really
right on.
excited. I totally forgot all about the hot sauce. I'm sorry about that, but
No, you're all right.
that's badass. Again, I've got to try all this. I got to mess with your whole brand on every front. I got to order some hot sauce. More importantly,
Hell yeah, dude.
that's awesome. All right, so we're gonna what we normally do on everything under the sun podcast is we're gonna touch a little bit on video game news, and but this is gonna be a different episode. We're gonna do horror, but me and you are gonna talk our favorite horror movies and all that stuff. We're gonna have a good chat for as long as we can before one of us has to go to bed or whatever.
Sure, man.
So here's an interesting thing. I found an article that I wanted to read a little bit. It said all the video game franchises that Grand Theft Auto 5 is outsold. Let's see. It's outsold Assassin's Creed, Need for Speed, Sonic the Hedgehog, The Legend of Zelda, Resident Evil, Star Wars, NBA 2K, Wii Sports, Pro Evolution Soccer, Tomb Raider, Dragon's Quest, the entire Tom Clancy's franchise, which is $82 million, Halo, Gran Turismo, Monster Hunter, Worms, Mortal Kombat, Borderlands, Animal Crossing, Just Dance, Super Smash Brothers, Donkey Kong, The Oregon Trail, Red Dead, The Elder Scrolls, Mario Party, Civilization. Oh God, this is never ending. I'm sorry. Oh, dude, like pick something from the Fallout series to Mega Man. Grand Theft Auto 5 has absolutely mopped the fucking floor with everything. And
Wow.
what's crazy about that is like that's how I got into PC gaming was Grand Theft Auto 5 because I saw like a Superman mod. I was like, how do I do that on my PS4? And the entire internet
Yeah.
is like, listen, you dirty fucking console boy. Like, if you don't throw $4,000 into the air right now, you will never know this. And I was like, okay.
No doubt.
Like, and they announced that Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out, which I'm sure you saw. Did you see that yet, or have you heard that? Like the official news?
I haven't seen any. I know I haven't seen much drop on it, but I know it's super hype. I heard a couple people talking about it.
They Rockstar actually said we are working on the next installment of Grand Theft Auto. Like it wasn't like we're working on another DLC. The next installment of Grand Theft Auto is in fact on the way, which is beautiful.
Well, I mean, it's been how long since 5 came out? Has it been a decade or no?
It has been almost a decade as of next year in 2023. Because
that's crazy.
That game, we're talking like I'm into 4K gaming, like I'm all about like that game came out so long ago that it was the game that made me buy a 1080p flat screen.
Wow.
Fucking
so
forever.
Much. To be honest with you, it's crazy. It's crazy how much time has passed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying since then? Because that feels like, it's crazy.
We've gotten another Red Dead and we've gotten 62 Grand Theft Auto expansions. And but my favorite thing is, again, the modders. The modders are completely fucking ballistic. Like one guy literally put King Ghidorah in the game. Like not like, oh wow, it's like a character model. Like, no, the damn thing is as big as a building, and like it can jump on top of buildings. It has like the lightning attack, like where all the lightning comes out of it. I'm sure you're a Godzilla fan, so you know these attacks, but dude, somebody put a fuck ton of time into absolutely making Grand Theft Auto an entirely different game, and I'm all for it. Like,
it's crazy.
I played with I played like Spider-Man mods. I played with a whole bunch of mods, but these new ones are just so ballistic. It's like, here, Godzilla versus Kong, Grand Theft Auto 5. I was like, don't you guys think you should stop now?
People love that game, man, and they're not going to stop creating until something new comes out, I feel like, which I guess we're getting soon.
Yeah, man. What was your first interaction with Grand Theft Auto 5? Like when did you play that? On what system was it for?
So for me, honestly, dude, and I'm gonna show like the kind of gamer I am right now. Like I played some GTA 5, but always played it at friends' houses and stuff. But lately I went down a huge rabbit hole. And I guess it's because I heard that the remasters were coming out, but I played so much Vice City on my
Oh
PS2.
yeah, man, Vice City. Oh
Like
man,
straight up.
the
I played
classicness that was. Oh,
best soundtrack, such a good storyline, and
art
just like
direction was beautiful.
yeah, and you can just like rage kill for hours, just like pop in your cheat codes and go around and just like tear stuff up. It's a great time.
Yeah, man. Did you get the remastered versions? I didn't. I didn't really mess with them.
One of
It,
my good buddies did, and he said that
it
it
was like
looked
slapping God.
yeah, it didn't it wasn't the best, but he said he's still playing it and it's better than it was, but they could have went a little harder, he said.
I
So
mean,
I haven't
they
really gotten to play it much.
listen. Given
But
how oh shit, you there?
yeah, everybody can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just can't see you right now. Pardon me.
You're right.
Well, all right, you're back.
There we go. We're back, baby.
Nice, nice.
Oh wait, hold on. All right, we should be good.
All right, there we go. I just got done messing with the arrangement and that we look like on video while you were doing that anyway, so it's all good. But yeah,
Cool.
man, I just can't believe like Grand Theft Auto 5 is actually like the highest selling piece of media to ever exist. Period. Like, there's nothing that's ever out. It's insane. It's just absolute fucking insanity.
I
You
mean,
know, like,
respect to the series.
you know what's crazy is that game only cost, and I say only, but that game in terms of its billions of dollars of income only cost them like $370 million to make. Like, that's insane.
And I'm sure, yeah, I mean the turnaround on that, and that's the other thing too, is that people over the course of a decade just kept buying copies of it. That's like people growing up.
And,
Like if you're like
yeah,
10 years old when GTA 5 came out, you know what I mean? Like
I was in my 20s. I'm in
what
my
are you, like,
fucking 30s now.
isn't it crazy?
like, come on,
So
man.
that game's just gonna keep selling. It's nuts.
I was also blown away. I was blown away at the DLC and how, like, all right, like, we can rip on it all we want, but that was plentiful and it was pretty goddamn awesome too.
Hell yeah.
I thought that was a really, really awesome way to carry out a game that had a follow. Listen, man, you can knock it all you want. They didn't make it unless people were buying it. And that meant it had a user base that really liked it. And it meant, more importantly, it had a gigantic fucking user base. Cause like, you'll be lucky if, like, I guess if I had to pick a game that really has long-term launch support after the fact, and that comes from being like, I'm really thinking about it, trying to make sure I'm not just being biased. But one of the only games that gets that sort of long-term launch support is like 5 years after the fact is like Mortal Kombat's. And that's just like, because that's more of a hype machine than anything. Like,
Yeah.
like who's gonna be the next in the next DLC pack, they gave you so much at once, but I just was blown away that the base was actually there enough to just keep making them over and over again. Like, what the fuck? Like,
It's crazy, dude.
right? And like,
Nutty.
and that profit margin has like is just insane. $365 million for the highest piece of selling, the highest, like, that's what it costs. $365 million for the highest piece of media to ever be sold in the world. Like, what the fuck, man? Like,
Nutty.
God bless them. I mean, listen, they whatever money they made with it, they definitely put it in Red Dead Redemption 2, which was fucking fantastic. I'm sure you played that, right? Like, you were with that or no?
Yeah, I played some.
Yeah.
Played some.
Some.
Some. Not
Yeah,
a ton.
yeah.
But so here's the thing. So as far as new gen goes, pardon me, probably Xbox One, and then that was about it for me, which was huge over the pandemic because obviously I was playing so much online gaming with my homies and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was playing a ton of Mortal Kombat, ton of Warzone, just because a lot of my friends are playing that. I'm not the biggest COD guy, but
I'm
you,
not
you
really
can't
either.
argue
I'm
that.
not. I'm not
It's
into that
always fun. Yeah.
multiplayer thing. But yeah, continue on. What? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just I went down that road, but then like I was talking to you, over Instagram, I just started jumping back into the Dreamcast and just like
Yeah.
I have all these, physical copies of all this old stuff because like before I was collecting VHS tapes. I was collecting retro gaming before the market got,
Fucking
out of
ballistic.
control.
Yeah,
But
man, it's out of
insane,
control.
man. I mean,
It's coming down
we
though.
had
It's
a
coming
couple
down.
stores in yeah, we had a couple stores in Jersey that I would go to all the time that were just independently owned by like, just guys like, us, like now, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Just
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
dudes in their
Absolutely.
30s that
Like,
had,
yeah, dudes
yeah,
that found their niche
game
and they're really,
stores.
yeah. Um,
Yeah.
we have a digital
And I would
press.
just
That's a
go
big
and
one by
scoop
me.
stuff. Okay, yeah. We have this one called Classic Game Junkie by us. That's pretty cool. And then the one in Jersey that I used to go to before it closed down was called We've Got Freaking Video Games. And it was like
Wow.
the best store, dude. And he was very affordable and he would do repairs. And yeah, I used to just go there like every other weekend and just blow like $100 and walk away with huge stacks for my collection. And
Yeah,
it's just like
man.
such a great time.
But nothing's better than, and I think that's where it all start with. I would get really into it, like the whole the whole physical media thing. Like I would just see
Yeah.
myself going down a slippery slope. Like, because I mean, after a while, and you know this much as I do, after a while, that $100 in the store don't hit like it used to, and you're walking out the store with less and less games,
Exactly,
and
man.
you find yourself buying games that Contra was never a $20 game, and B, like you find yourself like, well, I guess I can grab one of those $60 games now. It won't hurt. I'm still only spending $100, right? Like rather than be like, oh, maybe I'll just pump the brakes a little bit. It's like, no, I'm here. I got $100 mentally. I'm ready
Yeah.
to go. Let me take like you might even walk out the store with some oddballish like a boxed copy of like, I don't know, Excite Bike for like 60
Yeah.
bucks, and then you walk out the store with another like $40 in stacked games, but it just doesn't hit like it used to anymore. You just watch the $5 and $10 games disappear that you can grab because you grabbed them all, or they're just not $5 and $10 games anymore.
Yeah, it's like you said, man. You'd go in, and then as time went on, your stack would just get smaller and smaller because the prices
Yeah.
were just getting bigger and
I'm
bigger.
I'm
So
I'm I'm a guilty man of knowing my habits like that, and that's why like this isn't even something that's happened to me. I just know myself
yeah,
enough to like I'm into PC gaming, and let me tell you, 2020 was not the year to build a PC. All right, like I covered
yeah,
my eyes plenty. I bought one item scalped at, I want to say, actually I guess I could say it's, I bought a graphics card that was supposed to be $1,500 for 2,400, but then I sold the stock air cooler that it came with because I water cooled it. I
yeah.
sold it for the exact amount, like 800 and change, to cover the scalped cost, and the water block only cost me $100. And that's the story
Wow.
of how I got a 3090 at MSRP through the grace of God. Like literally, like that was like when I saw how much it went for, because here's where God's Plan by Drake needed to start playing.
Yeah,
I didn't know what that thing was going to go for. I threw it up there figuring it was going to get like $100 or $200. That's what these older graphics card coolers were going for, like the 2080s, like the generation before mine, right? I had
yeah,
no idea that this thing was so, in addition to there being no new graphics cards, there was nobody to sell them parts. So these guys went to fucking town while I slept. And I didn't know until the auction was over 5 days later that it went for like the exact, almost like literally within pennies of the amount that I paid over on the graphics card. Like I said, like when I saw that and did the math, like I said, like Drake God's Plan just started playing in my head. Like I was
yeah.
like, and I'm never
Well, I'm
getting
glad
this.
that worked out, man.
And again,
That was a bad.
I wasn't even trying to be that guy with the cooler. Like, yo, I'm the only one who has this. Like, I didn't even have that thought in my head. Not that
Yeah,
I could be. Like, I don't know. I sat outside and waited for a PS5 one night, and I didn't
yeah,
get it. They said they still had Xboxes in stock, and that little scumbag Switch turned on. Like, bro, get the Xbox and sell it.
yeah.
I was like, no, that's not how good things come to you, homie. Because a week later, I found a PS5 used in great condition. I paid MSRP for it, but
Yeah.
I didn't pay a scalper. I didn't have to sit outside at 1 a.m. It was some woman who was like, I don't know, man. I bought it and I don't need it, and I just want to make my $50 on it, and I want to sell it before I have to deal with someone scary. She's like, I
Yeah,
didn't know what I had. I just want to make my money and be on my way. I was like,
sure.
God's Plan by Drake.
Why not?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, man.
That's crazy.
And you have a Switch.
Crazy.
You have a Switch, you said, right?
Yeah. I do play a lot of the Switch. Me and my girlfriend play that. Me and my
Yeah.
buddies.
That's yeah.
Yeah. It's just a fun. It's a great system to play with friends, but it also
Absolutely.
has some. It has some wild card, limited run games too that are pretty cool. That's a whole other road though. Once you start collecting the limited run releases for the
No,
Switch.
the Switch actually is the next topic. Of course, I told you about this when we were talking before. But anyone who's been following this podcast knows that I've been talking about Gary Bowser, who was the guy Nintendo, and I guess I'll fill you in on this,
Yeah,
He
fill
was
me in.
he was the guy who was making mod chips, right? He was part of Team Execute, like spell XEKUTE, like the 90s never left where he's from, which was he was I think he was pulled from the Dominican Republic, or was it Nigeria? I can't remember, but they more
Okay.
or less like extradited him out of that country to bring him here and charge him. And while he claims he only made $320,000, he agreed outside of another lawsuit to pay what is it? Yes, Gary Bowser agreed to pay Nintendo a sum of $10 million during a separate civil case that was settled in December 2021. Like,
Wow.
and Nintendo wanted him to go away for 5 years, right? His lawyer wanted 19, claiming that it wasn't really that bad of a crime and he wasn't really that big of a member. It's just, when it came time for finger pointing, he's the one everybody pointed their fingers at when they collected his whole team collaboratively.
Yeah.
And they want to give him and they wanted to give him 19 months. His side, Nintendo wanted to give him 5, and the federal Department of Justice, more or less the FBI, gave him 3 years for all of this. And it's kind of crazy because I know people with hack switches, and you don't really think anything of this, right? Like imagine like finding out, like, I don't know, like imagine you just did something, I don't know, involving a copyright issue. I know your company deals with, and I know you go through the right mediums. I'm not trying to pay, but just imagine something happened somewhere and you thought you could get away with it, and all of a sudden it's like, bro, I thought I was just gonna have to pay restitution. What do you mean I have to do time behind bars? Like I don't know, man. That'd be like if I botched a sprinkler install and thought nothing of it. Like, oh, I'll just fix it, And they're like, nah, man, you're doing time because you hit like a gas line or I don't know. It's just like, imagine for selling mod chips, but hey,
It's crazy.
man, that's
Dude, Nintendo is ruthless. They are ruthless. Dude, they were napping people for selling N64s on eBay.
Dude, they were Nintendo,
Like,
Nintendo will literally like sue you for wearing an unlicensed Mario shirt walking down the street.
yeah.
And that's this whole thing I've been meaning to do a video on. Like, what the fuck is up with companies lately? Like, why is Sony on some dick shit? Why is Microsoft the only good company left? Why is Nintendo on some dick shit? Why can't anybody make graphics? like why is everybody just so fucking salty lately? Like with their customers,
It's crazy, dude. Especially whatever all the customers are going through with this pandemic and like supply
right.
chain issues, and it's just everybody's just going nuts right now.
Yeah, man. It was like, I'm not gonna lie, to get my fucking new motherboard, not even an expensive, like confusing part, to get my new motherboard and RAM, because it's the new style of RAM, because I just can't stop having new shit. I was like, yeah, I'll order it online. Dude, I had to like go on, like, for a motherboard and RAM, I had to join a fucking drop list on a text message to get drops on when this shit was coming, because scalpers are just scooping up everything and reselling it. Like $500 sticks of RAM, which is not cheap to begin with, are selling for like, we're selling for like $2,000 on eBay. It was ridiculous. I was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, and it's especially frustrating because like 2 weeks
That's
after, yeah, it's unbelievable, right? Like, I could talk about scalpers for days.
Wow.
They're terrible people.
It's crazy, dude. It's rough out there. It's rough out there.
And and like, again, they're dealing with like, essentially just taking licensed material and reselling it. Like, I don't know, man, that's frustrating. Especially I'd be mildly frustrated if I was someone like yourself who goes through the right channels to acquire whatever's needed to work with licensed materials. You know what I'm saying? Not like act like a glorified middleman. It's like, yeah, bro, I knew people like you in high school. You're the guys who charged me extra to get weed when I didn't know the guy, or you pinched out of my bag, or you pinched out of my bag, or you did both, and I couldn't say shit because you were on my only fucking avenue. Like, like
right.
People before. It's just Nintendo is like super duper like foul lately, like taking all of their classic content off of the eShop and then being like, yeah, there's no other way to play it. It's like, but don't you have an eShop for the Switch? And they're like, yeah, what about it? It's like,
right. And what's the new deal? I mean, I'm not super hip, but like the N64 pack and like the retro game packs that they're selling, it's like a monthly thing.
Like, that's how it's supposed to be. And on that note, can we just say fuck whoever decided making everything monthly was the way to move? Okay, here's a great example of monthly working and monthly not working. Adobe Premiere for
it totally works, in my opinion.
$289 a year to have Adobe Premiere, instead of like $600 to like $800 every 2 years.
Yep.
And then sometimes getting taxed with some severe upgrade that some guy like, coded his blood and sweat over, like, I'm like, all right, fair enough. And it's like, all right, Disney Plus, working concept, monthly programs to 800 to everything I've ever wanted to fucking watch in my life. And then all of a sudden it's like Nintendo's like monthly subscription. I'm like, hold the fuck on. To what? They're like, to play classic games. I was like, that I could emulate for free.
Right.
They're
That's
like,
the problem,
they're
right?
like, that's illegal. I'm like, yeah, it is. But what you're doing is terrible.
Yeah. It
Only
doesn't
one of us,
help.
like, only
Yeah.
one of us is doing a terrible thing if we agree to this. If I don't do this, like, no, absolutely not. Like,
And it'd be one thing if fucking, Nintendo, was like this great company that like does all this stuff for their,
exactly.
supporters, but they're not.
No,
So
no. And it's really frustrating because I'll tell you, I had a Nintendo Switch. I bought a Nintendo Switch. Like, I have a friend out in Brooklyn who's like really super savvy to this shit. He still is. My girlfriend at the time wanted a Switch, and I didn't have any video game systems at the time.
yeah.
And her birthday month was March, which was the same month that the Switch came out, right?
Right.
And I managed to snag one, and I bought it for her, and I loved it. It was great. And when we broke up, of course, I bought it for her. I couldn't take the fucking gift back. But let me tell you, I miss
Right.
that Switch every fucking day. Okay, I hope she enjoys it. I'm glad she has it. It was the right thing to do, and that's
Yeah.
what you should do. Anybody watching, it's not a conflict of character to be a decent person. Did my
Yeah.
cat just? I'm sorry, my cat just knocked down my shit behind me. One second, man. I don't know if you see my green screen.
Oh, man.
Hang on, wait, man. It looks even funnier on the big camera. Hang on, wait.
Take your time.
Yeah, how it
Now,
works
welcome
is,
back, buddy.
thanks. How it works is I have a 65-pound pit bull, and I
Yeah.
have a 25-pound cat, which is a large cat.
Yeah.
And they basically reenact some of WrestleMania's greatest moments in my room. I have seen my cat set up a ladder in my room and just go like that with two paws and just swanton bomb onto the dog.
Yo,
it's clear.
party
It's clear.
style.
It's clearly choreographed.
Yeah.
But it's cool as shit. No, really, they just love to beat the shit out of one another. They're like BFFs, and
Yeah.
you can see the dog behind me. He's got the whole pattern back here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bot. Long story short, they just have a habit of like falling into this thing, like the way like WWE style, like, oh my god, through the wall. Like,
Yeah.
it's some
Love
good
it.
shit. It's some good shit. I'm glad to know that you're a wrestling fan, correct? Or you said it was a friend of yours was more of a wrestling fan.
Yeah. So I mean, I grew up as you did too in the Attitude Era. So that was like
Mhm.
by far my
Yeah.
favorite. I watched, probably very loyally for like 3-4 years straight before I kind of, phased out of it. But no, my partner is big into GCW and
Really?
H2O wrestling and
That's awesome. Wow, GCW. That's up and coming through Nick Gage, which is really fantastic because that's a guy with some stories. I've actually not so much recently, but with AEW, I've gotten more into it again.
Yeah.
I started watching wrestling like way back in like the Hulk Hogan era, and then I wasn't really into it. And then in like '95, I met a friend who got me into it again. And I've always kind of held on to it back and forth ever since. But like the Attitude Era, absolutely. Every Monday night I was there, every
Same.
Thursday night when SmackDown came out.
Yep.
But it's just so funny because I actually, out of all the crazy things I've tried to be, and I've had a long, illustrious career in trying to make it into the spotlight before. I was just like, I'm just talking video games and horror now. Like, I'm in my mid-30s. Ain't no one wooing over me like that shit. I wanted to be a professional wrestler. I was
no way.
I was really like, into it. And at the time, it was like, I remember my guidance counselor kind of looked at me like sideways. She's like, I don't know. She's just like, I have someone you should talk to, but I won't lie. She's like, you're like 6'2", and you're like, you'll grow into the rest of your body, but you're like 6'2", 180 pounds. I weigh a little bit more now, but
Yeah.
She's like, I have someone for you to talk to. And I sit down with this guy I've walked past 900 times in the hallway. She's like, this is the only person in the world that can talk to you about what you want to do. She goes, look at his last name. And I was like, I looked down. I was like, I don't know. I was like, who is this guy? I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank here. She goes, this is Mr. Albano. This is Captain Lou Albano's brother.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, holy shit, really? And she goes, yeah. And he doesn't know it. And I mean, I say this respectively because I actually went on to meet his son at a bar locally because they're all local to me. I met his son at a bar and told him the same story. And he's like, that's the most beautiful thing anyone's ever told me about my dad. People have told me a lot of cool fucking things about my dad.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, he told me your dad broke every finger he had in his hand with no health insurance before he ever made a paycheck where he could feed himself. And I'm sorry, like, I'm crazy. Like, I'm crazy as fuck. But like I don't know, that swayed me away from it. But like wrestling has always been there for me nonetheless. Like wrestling is just, I can never get tired of it. It's just, I love the
Respect.
You know,
Crazy.
the atmosphere, the attitude of it, the everything. Like, you know, if I ever do go out there, I hope to meet your friend and shoot the shit with him about some of that stuff.
Yeah, man.
That would absolutely be some top tier shit for me to talk to someone who's got like just, you know, some just to geek out of it. So like, so what's so and so, like, you know, like an idiot and shit like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, for
But
sure.
absolutely, it's cool to know though. But Attitude Era was a big thing, and currently I've got, like I said, AEW is a lot more digestible for a fan like myself.
Yeah,
But I haven't like been following it religiously. But when I was watching it in the beginning, I was like, this is very enjoyable. Like
yeah.
this isn't like I gotta like kind of turn my head a little bit, like, you know, like it's not a perfect show, but it's compared to WWE's programming, it's fucking immaculate. So
No, absolutely. Yeah,
take
and
that
I've
for what
caught.
it's worth.
Yeah, I caught some AEW, and I thought it was pretty good. Some of it's, like you said, I mean, all right, but
I
a
mean,
lot of it,
yeah, go on.
you
I'm
know,
sorry.
no, yeah, a lot of it is definitely pretty cool. Actually, my partner Steve was at the GCW show tonight in Atlantic City at the Showboat, and
Wow.
actually, yeah, he I just saw he had our table set up, and somebody actually got suplexed through our hot sauce table, and then
Nice.
the picked up the
Nice.
bottle, opened it, and dumped the sauce in the wrestler's mouth,
Oh
like
wow, that's badass as
yeah,
fuck,
like
man.
mid
Wow.
show. So it was
Wow.
like
Oh
super
man,
super
I
tight.
gotta see clips of that. I hope
Yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna geek out. I'm gonna post clips of that on my Instagram. Be like,
yeah,
yo, make sure you check out, you know, Tim from
yeah,
Tapes from the Crypt's hot sauce. You
yeah,
entrepreneur fuck. I can't remember it.
yeah.
But
No,
no,
yeah,
that's
yeah. I'll
awesome.
send you the links and everything for yeah.
Absolutely. Oh man, that would be fantastic. I would love to, because GCW is some shit that like I've peeked on every so often. I'm like, whoa. I was like, this kind of has like an ECW-ish kind of thing
It
going on
does.
there.
It's the
Like
new ECW for sure.
I was like, you know, it's definitely got this low key like vibes type of shit, you know, with this whole
Yeah.
Nick Gage being the poster boy that isn't the poster boy for it is some of the
Yep.
coolest shit ever. Um, so let me see. We'll move onward to slightly sadder news. This is great because I had mentioned this to you and you said you're not too into the current version of this stuff, but Netflix is removing all of its Marvel shows, including Daredevil and Jessica Jones. And Netflix is already notifying you of this by how is it letting you know? It says nothing has been confirmed yet. It's possible all these shows can move to Disney Plus or they're placed in the Disney vault for decades because they are Netflix
Wow.
productions. So, you know, I didn't know. I don't know if it's like that, but, you know, we could call it, me and you could relate to this Mr. McMahon syndrome, the way Vince McMahon doesn't really give the push to something that's not one of his creations, like
Right.
something that he would. Since, you know, Netflix owns the rights to Daredevil, or not the rights, but it's a Netflix production before Marvel had their own studios. There's a
Mhm.
possibility. I didn't even think of that. You know, Daredevil and what was that? Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and the Punisher. Um,
Yep.
like there's a chance that those will never be seen again because Disney's going to want to put out their own version of it. Though I have heard pretty much confirmation that the guy who played the Punisher is coming back for that. Like Disney was absolutely 100% like, no, that's Punisher. Like the way you see an actor and like, no, that's not Robert Downey Jr. That's Tony Stark. That's
Yeah.
supposedly how they feel about the Punisher, specifically because outside of The Walking Dead, that guy doesn't have anything that you could point at him for and be like anything besides he's the guy from Walking Dead. That unless you're a diehard fan, you don't even remember his name. Um,
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I mean, since we're just on the topic, I'm just gonna get it out
yeah, absolutely. You know, let it
right
out.
away.
This is a
So
safe space. Okay, safe space.
yeah, so yeah, so I might not be into like the more modern day, Marvel stuff as much, as you can attest to. Early Spider-Man, Sam Raimi Spider-Man, absolutely amazing. Like us being kids growing up, and the hype with that coming out was just such a
Mhm.
big deal,
Yeah,
and it was
absolutely.
fantastic. But I was talking about this recently with a buddy. It's crazy to think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that I don't think we're ever gonna get a movie like, and this is might be an unpopular opinion, like Punisher Warzone, which is the last Marvel Knights movie before Disney bought the company that was just gratuitous violence, unhinged, absolute massacre of a movie. And now that Disney owns it, are we ever going to get a flick or anything like that? And I'm not talking about Deadpool. Like
Right.
I'm talking about
Like
head
Logan. Let's say
stabbings.
Logan. Let's talk. Let's use Logan then.
Yeah.
Let's take a movie. I believe Logan was R, wasn't it, or was that PG-13?
I
Um,
think it might have been R, but still,
You
I
know
would
what?
still say on the tamer side.
Right. Let me double check though, real quick. Logan 2017 film rating. Logan was in fact rated. Why does it tell me everything but this? Why?
I
It was
feel like
rated.
it was rated.
It was rated R. Okay, it was rated
Okay.
R. Yes. It was rated R. But as you were saying, you're talking like gratuitous, like absolute, like violence. I think we might get it, but it's a tough call because Logan and Deadpool, especially Deadpool, were kind of like proof that that's what the crowd wants. But remember,
Yeah.
Marvel's got to make money, and the money machine. There aren't a whole lot of action figure opportunities from an R-rated movie like there were when we
Sure.
were kids. Like we had RoboCop toys, okay? We had Terminator toys,
Exactly. Exactly.
like
You get it.
we
Yeah.
had toys from movies we weren't supposed to see, and
Yep.
like that sort of day is like kind of, I don't want to say long gone, but it's kind of gone. Like I don't know, man. Like kids aren't. I don't know what toy sales are like nowadays, but kids are playing with toys, and I think it's a matter of the fact that you can move a lot more merch on a PG-13 film than you could an R-rated film. But
Yep.
I think to answer your question, pardon me, yes, and hopefully the multiverse of madness is a step in the direction of like
Yeah.
that adult hinged Marvel stuff, which needs to come out. They need to have that stuff eventually. There needs to be a more like grittier gripe. I don't know how to word it other than like, again, all we really have is Deadpool and Logan to work off of, and at least we have two Deadpools, right? Like
Yeah.
that's proof that it's there, and that's proof that it works. But is it just because it's Deadpool? But to answer your question, I think it's possible. It's just a matter of will it happen.
I guess so, man.
Yeah,
Because
it's
that whole the remember like the Max comics, like Marvel Max and like Punisher Max and like
yeah,
all this
yeah.
stuff, like that shit was so tight.
Like the
And it's a
Max.
part of the. Can you
Go
hear
on.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, no, you're cool. Yeah, and I mean, just like that is a era, and that is a part of the Marvel company that we need. So I just hope it comes back.
Yeah. I listen. I would love to see. Even if I'll tell you what. My mom to this day. Remember, I'm an older man now. My mom's a
Yeah,
much
yeah,
older woman. Um, she always said it. I'll never forget the way she worded it. The way she just worded it. Hey, Dust, what was that show you used to watch? It was really weird. It had the little black things with the big white teeth running around smiling, and the big purple guy. I was like, the Max. She's like, yeah, the Max.
yeah,
She's like, that was cool. Because like my mom let me watch Beavis and Butthead and all that shit when I was
yeah.
younger. I think you might have missed Beavis and Butthead's peak, but you definitely watched it, right? Like I know you said you're a little bit
Absolutely.
young. Yeah. So like I was a little bit older than you, and like I was like 7 or 8 years old being allowed to watch this show. My mom kind of like told me, like, when I used to ask my friends in school, she's like, yo, shut the fuck up. Don't be telling people I let you watch that. Like
Right.
she's like, you want to just ruin everything for yourself? Like it was just like, I remember we used to watch that in the head, but she's
The
like,
head.
yeah, she's like, the Max was so cool. She's like, that was a weird ass show. I was like, yeah, man. And if you actually watch the whole thing, which I'm sure you have, like, what a story. Like,
Yeah.
what well told story. But what I wouldn't do for like, if even if Marvel was like, here's what you're gonna get. We're not gonna give you a Max movie that's gonna come out in theaters that's R-rated. We will slide you off with an exclusive on Disney Plus though. Like
Yeah.
we'll give you like a straight, like when the straight to Disney Plus like movies like that come out, that'll be cool. Because there's plenty of like isn't like Master Chang or something is a series now. Like lots of things are just a series on Disney Plus now, I suppose.
Yeah,
Um
and some more obscure stuff, I'd say for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, they're bringing to light a lot of characters that people were always asking about that I'm not even like 100% familiar with. And I used to
Yeah.
collect like comic books and trading cards. So even though I didn't have, a whole lot of comic books like stacked to the ceiling like I would have as a kid with all the imaginary money in my head, I had trading cards that introduced me. Like trading cards were great because they introduced you to characters you might never see otherwise. Like
Yeah.
all the oddball X-Men characters that I can't recall, but I just remember seeing like, that's pretty much how I recall that whole affair going on.
I was gonna
Um,
say, man, you just like trigger like I was like digging through the garage the other day and I actually found like three like full sheets of like Marvel like DC card.
Hey, I'm sorry.
recently. I feel like I should get.
Oh yeah, you totally should. Sorry for a second there, you were breaking up, but you're back now. Yeah, you should totally go on eBay and like try to save eBay for last because eBay is really kind of a bad way
Yeah.
to gauge price. Because first off, the guy on eBay has to give 12% to eBay right away. And that's not even like
Yeah.
a made up number, like 12% of the sale. Go to like independent card trader sites. I'm sure you know more people than I do in the field, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Pull that shit out and don't be afraid to use it. The guy next to me actually, the guy who lives next door to me actually owns a trading card store on the subject. If
Oh,
you're
no way.
yeah, yeah. He it's called Cards to Go. He's into that stuff. But he hosts a lot of Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh! And
Yeah. Yeah.
Pokemon tournaments and stuff like that. He's out in Robbinsville, New Jersey, where it's just like middle of nowhere. Like it might look more like PA than it does New Jersey, depending on what
Yeah.
part of Jersey you're from. But yeah, man, that's something I definitely need to have you check out sometime. My friend who owns this taco place, I want to talk to him maybe about the idea of like, I don't know, if I can have you guys come out here, if like there was ever a way to figure out logistics, have you come here and use like a ghost kitchen or something like that and like do something
Yeah,
out of the
man.
store. And that's me talking straight out of my ass. Like I haven't even like ran that idea. Hang on, wait, sorry. I haven't even ran that idea by him, but he's my age and he's all about watching younger businesses succeed. So
Yeah.
I don't
Or
know.
if we even did like a hot sauce pop up to go with his tacos, you know what I mean? Something like that.
That would be actually really badass. I was thinking a little bit broader because I just have that habit, but
Yeah.
that's something you would totally be for. And he's actually like he's a big fan of what I do, like the whole streaming thing. He shows up on my
Yeah.
he shows up in my chats a lot. He was the one who really pushed me when I said, "Oh, I want to do streaming." He's known me forever. He's like, "Dude, you got to do this."
Yeah.
He's like, you belong in front of a camera doing something, and this is
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
He's like, rock with it, and he would probably rock with that if you guys came on down here. We could totally work out logistics of that. I would love to talk to him about what he would love to do because again, that's right up everybody's alley, especially because he knows I'm heavy into horror. Like to give you an idea of how good of friends we are, like he bought me like this amongst many things for Christmas.
Hell
Like
yeah.
like
That's awesome.
he totally understands what it's all about. But yeah, that'd be badass.
Hell yeah.
I would absolutely love that. Oh man.
So I wanted to, I have some surprises for you to show on the whole thing. But while we're on the subject,
Absolutely. Let's do
my
this.
girlfriend
Please.
just brought this down. This is a sealed box with the free trading card still in.
I had that trading card and I had that box. What the fuck?
So this is still sealed. The expiration date is May 4th, 1996.
Yeah, man. I ate that shit right at the house. We moved. Our big move was right next door. But that the very house where I ate that in as a child is like I could throw a rock through the window if I stood on my front porch right now. Like
How crazy is that?
the
I was like,
Spider-Man bull. What? Where the fuck did you find that? And that stuff
So-
wasn't half bad. It was like that crunchy grain, but like a good grain. It was like airy because it was a spider.
yeah, with the marshmallows, dude. You got it.
Oh man, yeah. Oh man, that was good. Wow,
So yeah, while we were on the subject, I had my girlfriend bring it down to show you on camera because this is one of the cooler,
that's so bad.
odd pieces in the collection. So
That's fantastic. Wow, that's fan fucking tastic, man. You have made my day right there.
yeah, dude. I knew you have you've eaten that before. I was
Oh
like,
god,
he's happy
yeah,
about
like
that.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I had no limit to my sugar intake. My mom's like, whatever, man, just don't fucking light the house. I was like, what am I gonna
Yeah,
do
dude,
with all this sugar? Like,
we literally grew up in the era where there was a snack for every single cartoon, every single movie, every single,
yeah,
and
man,
it was just
and
like,
it was
yeah,
just ridiculous. Like junk food at the stores is absolutely. Oh man, yeah, absolutely. That was interesting right there. I mean,
yeah,
we need to make a petition to bring that one back. I mean,
yeah, for
like,
sure.
damn Disney, do you want to get this fucking money or what? Oh man. But listen, speaking of petitions, are you familiar with the Battlefield series? Like the whole shooter thing. I'm not too
I don't
familiar.
play it, but I know what Battlefield is, of course.
Okay. Well, apparently Battlefield 2042 is so bad that the joke going around about Battlefield 2042 is I left 2 copies of Battlefield 2042 in my car and someone broke my window and left 2 more in there. Like it's bad. But anyway, more than 160,000 Battlefield 2042 players sign a petition asking for their money back on change.org.
Damn,
That's a chunk of people. You understand? 160,000 people is a lot of people. Like,
yeah, dude. That
give
game
you a-
must fucking suck.
like on average, yeah, like seriously, like there ain't no 160,000 people watching anything on Twitch right now. I can promise you that. Like there are views and shit for new stuff, but like not like that.
Wow, dude.
Like yeah, let me see. Hang on, let me scroll down a little bit. The article says the petition, simply titled "Allow Refund for Battlefield 2042 on all platforms," started roughly 4 weeks ago and didn't get much attention. But in the last few days, thousands of players have signed on. Most likely, many of those new folks are signing a petition for refunds after EA and DICE announced a series of delays for both big and small Battlefield 2042 update to contents. According to EA, Battlefield 2042 won't receive any new content until summer, about 6 months after the game's released. Updates to add things like voice chat and scoreboard have also been delayed. Updates to add what should have fucking been there from day one have been delayed. That's what
EA,
I'm talking
man. About. EA is trash.
Listen, EA is the original scumbag video game company. But like, do you remember like I'm gonna pick your brain a little bit. You remember PlayStation 1, right? Like, do you remember like the Lost World, the Jurassic Park game for that? That was an EA game, man. That was an EA game. Like, no one remembers that because like the logo wasn't, it's in the game, but in the beginning of the game, it did that like electronic arts, like flash across the screen. There was a lot of good EA games out there. Like when we were younger, you know, they handled most of the ports to, like they handled mostly the hockey games. My friend was a hockey fan and he had NHL 96 and that had the EA logo in it. But yeah, man, they turned like the absolute, like terrible, awful people. And now they're just saying that, I guess they're saying because this isn't a complete game. I don't know why, but they're just not giving the money back to people.
Yeah.
Like this is what I'm talking about, man. Like some people are just awful people. Like,
yeah, EA's trash. I had a friend that worked for EA and they said it was borderline the worst job they've ever had too. So unfortunately, you know, it's just the reputation for EA has just not been great. But like you said, I fucking loved the Lost World Jurassic Park for PS1. It was amazing.
Like, yeah, like don't get me wrong, it was a little like, you know, I guess like I played it recently and it didn't age too bad, but like you know, it's just like I wish you could have picked your characters from the beginning, but who would have picked anything with a T-Rex anyway? But like I think they made nightmare creatures too. I can't remember. Let me see that. Let's pull up a list of Electronic Arts PlayStation 1 games just to remind us. Yeah.
To give us a little peace of mind.
Electronic Arts games on PlayStation 1.
Video games frequently mentioned on the webbing.
Here we go.
Wait. Like, I think that, holy shit. They made Theme Park. They made Need for Speed.
Yeah, great.
Holy shit. They made Road Rash. Well, they made WCW Backstage Assault, so I can see where the problems start, though.
Yeah, that was trash.
I was like,
is this?
Yeah, they made Road Rash 3D. They did a lot of cool shit, man. They did a lot of great sports games. And then they were just like, but what if we charged you 4 times? You even have the hologram on the case, you son of a bitch.
There it is, dude.
Oh, man.
Had to.
And
had to for you.
Wait, is it that had the special vinyl case though? You couldn't like it has ribbed, it's like ribbed for her pleasure, right? Like
it's ribbed her for her pleasure.
Yeah. I'm sure your girlfriend loves it. So I mean, like, oh man, like I said, I don't have, like, here's my one thing. I'll show you this. I'm not gonna lie, I have one thing from my childhood. I don't know.
I need it. Let me see it. Come on.
I grew up playing this series, and we'll talk about it right now because we already mentioned it. But this is from my childhood.
Hell yes,
this is a release date cartridge picked up October 13th, which is Friday the 13th, 1995, and immediately ran through right away. That's my
love that for you, dude.
Oh wait, I think I have other. Wait, I say this. This somehow survived. I don't know what I think I bought this. But this is Castlevania 2 on Nintendo.
Yeah, it's another good one.
Listen,
Simon's Quest.
Yeah, listen, Castlevania is my shit. I'm a huge in case I don't look like I'm cosplaying Dracula from the anime enough. Listen, I will find you.
Dude, me too, man. That's why, I mean, we're vibing right now.
Listen, I don't know what it takes, and I know it's probably impossible because Konami is in shambles. But if there's any way you can get a Symphony of the Night hockey jersey with just the goddamn castle on it,
Wow.
like just that logo, like here, hold that up real quick again. Like if you could just get that, so that way, like just the castle and the Castlevania
Yeah.
part, like don't make it like one big circular thing. Like that would be badass as fuck. You know, it's funny. Your hockey jerseys remind me. When I was a kid, I'm still into ICP, the Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah, you're a Juggalo.
Yeah, man. I don't know if you. Oh man, like they used to have hockey jerseys back when we were kids in like 2003, and they had like, that's why I love your jerseys, because they're actually the same quality as theirs, and theirs were like ridiculous, like pretty much on par with this, like whatever, because different materials, time evolves. I'm talking about something that was like literally, I wore this thing like literally 20 years ago. Dude, your jerseys remind me so much of theirs, and the way the quality of the embroidering, like I used to pay like the price of this blew me away, because I used to pay $1.50 for like ICP jerseys.
Yeah,
like,
I try to keep my stuff affordable, man, because like you said, like you can't get hockey jerseys for cheaper than like
no, they're
150, like you said. So
and like, you know, manufacturing costs. And the worst thing is like, and I'm sure you've learned this. I've learned this as a landscaper giving out lawn cuts at the lowest price. Sometimes you're barely making any money, or you're just making enough money that you're like, all right, I'm good. And then prices go up for you. And it's like, they don't go up a little bit, they go up a lot. And then people are like, why are the jerseys 110? They used to be 75. It's like, dude, because I was barely making $20 a jersey at that. And now I would be losing money. And that's just like, that increase is to cover the new cost and still make the same amount I made before. Like
that's how it is, man.
Yeah, it's you know, it is what it is. But you know, I just like, I'm just glad you have this awesome quality. These things are fucking great.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the support always.
Absolutely, yeah, man. I've been trying to find, you know, there's a lot of stuff going around for Halloween 3 because it's the 40-year anniversary this year coming up. So there's a lot of cool vendors out there with some really nice matching merch that. Like I need to get this whole combo. I'll save it for a surprise, but it's definitely going to be cool, involving your jerseys and this other affair I've seen. And you know, it's really interesting. We'll talk a little bit more about it. It's interesting that Halloween 3 is your favorite scary movie, and I can't wait to talk to you about that later on either.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have a question. You have Mario Kart, right? On your Switch? Like you have Mario Kart?
You want to know something fucked up? I actually do not own a copy of Mario Kart right now for the Switch. However,
really,
I do have, I believe it's still Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U. Am I correct?
Yeah, I think that would be it. Yeah, because it's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the
right.
I'm sure you saw. I'm just talking about. They had this thing that they're talking about, how they're promising. The new thing announced that in the Nintendo Direct was that they're promising 48 tracks by 2023.
Well, good. We need those. It's because like you said, I mean, Mario Kart 8, I mean, has been around for a hot minute now. And
yeah, I actually got that. Yeah, I got that for my girlfriend back when I got her a Switch. That was like 2017 or something like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could look at that almost like a GTA 5 scenario. It's where Mario Kart 9, you know what I mean? So we'll see.
Yeah, let's see. It says Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is primarily a re-release of the acclaimed game from 3 years ago, but now by adding content and addressing the biggest complaint of the original, this version is unquestionably the best way to experience Nintendo's great racer. Battle mode is back, and when combined with the robust Mario Kart 8 package, it creates a great addition to the fledgling Switch library. But the craziest part is, if you watch the video for this, you'll actually see these are like classic tracks that they're bringing back too,
I love that,
like Choco Valley and stuff like that. Like
nice.
It's wild. I haven't seen, or I shouldn't say, I don't know if I was looking at it, but I was looking to see what like the old 16-bit ones would look like, because I'm sure you remember Mario Kart on what was it, Super Nintendo, right? Like that was an experience. The first time you experienced like the first ever true kart racer, it was like, this is incredible. Like
I loved it. I still play it sometimes.
Absolutely. What else do I think? I got more Nintendo news. Oh, I'm sure you're excited about this. Actually, I shouldn't say you're sure, but I love the first one when I played it on GameCube. New Mario Strikers coming out. The soccer game.
Perfect timing. So one of my all-time favorite video games is Strikers Charged for the Wii.
Really?
I am so gagged about the new Strikers for the Switch. It's all I've wanted. Yes. This game is so fucking amazing.
Is it really?
Not only that, if you're playing with 4 people, 4 Wiimotes with Chucks, oh my god, it is like, and it's hard as fuck. Like when you like get on the last tournament, It is so damn hard. You need to play it with people in order to beat. I think PD is the final
Dude, this is awesome.
boss you got to beat.
Wow.
Yeah. So you've been just like calling out all these games or series that I just have pulled for the show.
This is badass. This is going a lot better than I thought it was. Like, you understand? Like, I normally struggle to do an hour podcast by myself with like articles in front of me, and we're like hitting 55 minutes. And I mean, I'm gonna say we're just about a little bit close to halfway through the articles I have. Like, I was like, this is way more fun. All right, this is cool as shit. So speaking of which, we'll go on with Nintendo and Nintendo Direct because we didn't get to cover that last week. I didn't have a podcast. What do you think of the new Kirby and Forgotten Land trailer that shows
I'm in.
Kirby sucking up a car on some fucked up shit?
Yeah,
like,
I'm in. I'm so in.
Yeah, man. Oh man.
I can't wait. I'm a huge Kirby fan too. What's some Kirby games that you love, like as far as the series goes?
All right, listen, I'm not gonna lie. I love me some Kirby games. My first ever Kirby game was actually the first one on Game Boy. I had that on the original release. I loved that one. I loved what was it? I loved the one on Super Nintendo. Not the first one, or what is it? Kirby's All Star? Is that it?
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Kirby Superstar.
Yeah,
what is it called?
I think
something like that. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing.
And there was two of them on there, and I thought there was. I think there was two Kirby games on Super Nintendo. But I remember like when Kirby went from Game Boy to Nintendo to Super Nintendo. I think he was like one of the few characters Nintendo has that didn't start on a mainstream console.
Yeah.
I mean, he started on the Game Boy, and that was that was home to a lot of Nintendo ports, like your Castlevanias, your Zeldas, your Marios. Pick a game. It was like 85% chance it ended up on Game Boy, right? But it was the other way around for Kirby. I always thought that was really unique. But I'm really excited for this. I actually would like to get a Switch, but I'm still waiting on this 4K Switch that supposedly will exist in 2024. But whatever.
Right.
But I just want to get one. Like I just want to play fucking games on the Switch.
Yep.
And it's unbelievable now that you can play a Grand Theft Auto on Switch. I just wanted to say I never thought.
Is that crazy?
Right? Like what? Yeah. But as you were about to say, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. So out of the Switch games that were announced, I'm just gonna have a little fun. What game besides Strikers and Kirby do you think that I'm most excited for that is coming out of the list? Take a guess.
All right. So I'm trying to remember the list, which unfortunately I do not have. But why do I feel like you're excited about like that final game they showed? Wasn't Xeno Rangers or something like that? No.
You're thinking of like what Xenoblade, right, or something?
Yeah. I guess that's not it. I guess that's not it if you can't remember the name either.
It's not. So think just the most quintessential Nintendo game that came with every console, and we are finally getting a Switch version. I am so excited for the new.
You got to hit it off.
Wii Sports.
Oh wow. Oh man. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that was a pack-in game for the ages. When I first got my apartment, the first thing my mom got me was The first thing my mom got me was a Switch. I mean a Wii. She got me a Wii. It's and I remember we had that and like we got fucking trashed and we played that shit. Oh my god.
Exactly.
It's just like, and now it's just like with the Wiimotes, I mean with the nunchucks, it's just fucking disaster waiting to happen. Like,
dude, crazy. Did you see that with the Switch controller, they're actually giving you like a fucking holster that you velcro around your leg so you can kick and play soccer.
What the fuck? I was like, this is gonna end so poorly, Nintendo. Like they give this shit to their American crowd just to watch the YouTube videos. Nintendo of America,
awesome.
It's like when you got millions upon millions of dollars, you're like, how can we have some fun? Like, oh man, but yeah, that actually looks very, very cool. To be quite honest with you, I'm
hyped.
I'm pretty excited for that. What else do we got here? Here's something that's a little more in line with both of us. Resident Evil 4 remake confirmed. Will be more horror focused, said the report, which is interesting because the guy who was originally involved in directing Resident Evil 4 said he hopes that they make the game more scarier. And now here the internet is doing its thing, making the game more scarier.
So I got to interrupt just because, like I said, man, we have just been on some sort of vibe tonight and it is just kind of crazy, but I have to do it.
Hit me with it.
Here it is. The Resident Evil 4 chainsaw controller for the GameCube. It is one of my all-time favorite video games and one of my favorite pieces in the collection. The chainsaw controller, the most dumb controller of all time, but one of the best things ever.
All the money I could never spend, you have spent. And that's why I fucking love you.
Dude, back in the heyday.
Listen, tell me, like, keep on going with what you're going about, but tell me how you acquired this piece of machinery. I need to know. How did this come to Tim from Tapes from the Crypt?
So during the heyday of the Instagram retro gaming community, which I was a part of before the tape community, there was a ton of trading going on.
Okay.
And at the time, I traded a copy of Pokemon Crystal. Loose.
Really?
Just like a loose copy
really?
of Crystal.
Yeah.
For the
Game Boy Advance, right?
I think so. No, I think it was Game Boy, one of the last ones for the color. I think.
Right. Yeah.
And I just traded a loose copy of that for this with the stand, and that's how I got it. And I don't know what would be worth more at this point. I'd be curious to see, but
right, yeah, like what I'm sure it's within pennies of dollars of one another.
Yeah, but
Pokemon games are through the roof. Listen, that's like one of those oddities. Like that's up there with like the Wu-Tang controller from like way back which is like a $350 fucking controller now because like Wu-Tang is forever. But like
hell
yeah, man. Listen, Wu-Tang was a huge. I'm sure it was for you too. Wu-Tang was a huge part of my teenage years. Like we loved us some rock and roll, but when the Wu was on, like it was the Wu. It was like, and all their solo out. Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, they said that they're gonna make Resident Evil 4. That'd be great. Resident Evil 4, they're gonna make it more horror.
Love that.
Did you get it for the VR headset at all? Did you check that out or no?
No, but I do. I think I have the fucking game for like every console.
Every fucking platform possible.
Yeah, I do.
I stopped playing after like Resident Evil 3 for a while. I beat Resident Evil 8. I've been playing Resident Evil 2, the remake, because like with this PC, it's like unbelievable, man. Like it's like, ugh. Like it's like all right.
It's gotta be great, yeah.
It's like all right. I need the zombies to look a little less scary now. Like no more. Yeah, it's fucking unbelievable, and it's like I would love to see the fourth one because I was told I should have checked that one out, especially because I actually had a GameCube at the time.
Dude, it's like my favorite,
really?
Possibly like top 5 of all time games.
Really?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's incredible. You'd love it.
That's dope. All right, let me see. So yeah, they're looking to make it more horror oriented, which is great. I'm super excited. So yeah, it's still an unannounced remake though, but it's supposedly inspired by the game's original scarier prototypes because apparently Resident Evil 4 had some fucking terrifying prototypes. Oh, here's something I think we could both vibe on. And I bet you got a game off to the side for it because you're nice.
I promised to all the people watching this was not planned.
No. At this point, this one's a dead giveaway. And if you don't have one, I'm not even mad. It's just even better. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie is set to have plenty of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 game references. How excited are you for that? How did you like the first one, if I may ask? Like the very first Sonic game.
I love Sonic.
The movie. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I love Sonic. So I was going to bring this up when you were talking about Battlefield, but what about, and maybe we'll get some kickback like we did with Sonic. Remember when the movie was announced and how he looked and everybody kicked back and then they actually went back and changed
dude. Yeah. He looked like what would happen if I saw Sonic the Hedgehog in like a nightmare or like a dream.
Yeah,
and he was real. I don't know about this anymore. Like that was terrifying. That was absolutely like sleep paralysis demon scary.
It was bad. It was bad. But bad. I mean, think about it. I mean, they went back and they fixed it. And in my opinion, we might have a different opinion, but that was the last movie I saw in theaters before the pandemic, before everything shut down. And me and my girlfriend saw it and I loved it. I don't know.
I thought it was great. I thought it was
great. And everybody did not think it was going to be good. And I think it was one of the best surprises for movies in the last few years as far as like this did not suck ass.
No, it was actually it did enough of the fan service for itself, and it was good. It was definitely a solid affair. I can't even say that I had a real problem with it. I just didn't see a reason to because no one asked for it, and it ended up being pretty good. The fact that Sonic's been kind of like stuck into the buddy role is like, but whatever. Like, you know, it could have been a lot worse. All right. We needed a live actor in there somewhere, right?
Yeah, it needed to have. They needed to adjust somehow. Yeah.
Yeah. And Jim Carrey as you know, Dr. Robotnik is just everything you could ever ask for.
Of course.
And the sequel with Knuckles and everything just looks so
Yeah, Knuckles, and then you got Tails with the airplane. I mean, I think it'll be great.
I'm excited because, like, you know, Sonic 2 was actually the pack-in game I got with my Genesis when I got it.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I was always kind of, what is my dog eating? Slash, are you eating something you're not supposed to? Slash. No, you're okay. I don't know. He's just weird. I was like, you're not gonna cost me thousands in surgery, right? We're not about to do a $5,000 photo shoot on you, are we? No. All right. Slash, stop. But sorry, but yeah, no, I'm excited because Sonic 2 was kind of like the first Sonic that I got. I actually was also Sonic 2 is the pack-in game that came with my Game Gear. I don't know if you played that one, but that one was atrociously fucking hard out of nowhere. Like, it's like, all right, here you're past the first boss. Welcome. Like,
yeah, dude. My neighbor had the Game Gear, and I remember it being fucking hard as shit.
The Game Gear was a solid one. I had the Game Gear. I loved that. It was really, really, you know, for everything Nintendo was putting out against the time, it really, really should have failed against the Game Gear. But the Game Boy was just fucking fire. Like, and the Game Boy Advance was also just great as well. I remember the Game Boy Advance ran off those two little. Remember, it ran off it ran off really small batteries, smaller than the regular Game Boy, and I was like, wow, this is impressive. And then it had a battery pack too.
Yeah, 2 batteries, and the Game Boy Advance was solid. And then once the SP came out and you had your backlight, it was like game on.
The backlight, the SP, and it had its own battery. Yeah, it had its own proprietary battery that charged. Oh man, that was some badass shit. And now you got people who mod those too, like people who like people who send those out and they turn them into like LED screens, and like it's just fucking ballistic. Like it's unbelievable. Most people just use it for like a RetroPie build or something like that. But wow, man, yeah, man. Oh man,
that whole culture is a whole thing in itself. Like the Game Boy mods and all that stuff is crazy. People are really, really good.
Yeah, there's a guy who at these raves I attended and used the DJ around here. They would have a video game guy come and set up his games, and he actually had an HDMI modded into his N64, and it looked like flawless. Like,
oh shit,
like it was factory, like it was supposed to be there. It was fantastic. But you're right, that is a whole lot of things. Like, I remember I saw an $800 Dreamcast, and like when he turns it on, so many LEDs went off from inside. It's crystal clear. It had like a crystal clear shell. It was just
wow.
With the ability 3D printing allows a lot of cool possibilities.
People are cool, man.
Yeah. So moving onward, we got another Marvel story here. So apparently, I don't know how you're into this, but how much are you into the whole Venom versus Spider-Man hype? Is that your thing, or do you not give a shit?
I mean, no, I'm in. I mean, as far as some of the more modern day movies, I haven't seen the Venom Carnage movie yet, but it
was okay.
I saw the Venom movie in theaters.
That was pretty good.
Like
the
first
good.
one, and I loved it. So I'm in. Yeah, fuck it, let's go.
So this article pertains to that, and it says the Spider-Man No Way Home writers, because remember, Venom could face off against one of 3 Spider-Men depending on Sony's mood, right? Like Sony has the ball that Marvel wishes it had in its court. Spider-Man No Way Home writers say there are possibilities for a Marvel Cinematic Universe Venom, but state it's way above our pay grade. So it could be Venom versus Andrew Garfield. It could be Venom versus Tobey Maguire, but I don't think we're going to get Venom versus Tom Holland. If we do, it'll be dragged in because Sony has 2 movie franchises to work with. If you think about it, it has the Amazing Spider-Man, and it just has the Spider-Man ones. And it's just it's like, why would we, unless the fan demand was that strong, and it doesn't matter who Venom fights, it's going to sell. It doesn't make sense logistically, unless you wanted to appease the fans, to have to cut Marvel in on a severe amount of the profits of the movie if they go with Tom Holland and use Marvel Studios or whatever agreement they have. It would just be way easier for them to just use one of their Spider-Men. And that's the fact of the matter, right? You know, like, I hate to say it, I want to see the Tom Holland thing, but the fact that they're even considering it at all, and the fact that it's actually happening, we just don't know which one is more than enough for me to be quite happy, you know, like
Well, yeah, dude. I mean, that's like our dream. I mean, the whole '90s
absolutely.
comic book era, and just like
And after
the
Spider-Man
T-shirts
3,
and everything, and oh my god, yeah. I guess we do need a redemption from my one of my best friends. Who's shout out to Retro Release Video. He's a modern day VHS distributor. He
nice.
loves Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire.
Listen,
He loves it, and I do not know why, and I have no idea, but it's one of his favorite movies. What are your thoughts?
us retro folk are a strange crowd, even for
Are
our
we?
own, even for our own kind, every so often. But no, in all honesty, Sam Raimi, really didn't like Venom. Sam Raimi was kind of, I don't know. After I heard the story of Sam Raimi originally wanted Vulture and Electro, but like the studio basically told Sam, like, no offense, Sam, but we let you pick like every fucking hero from your childhood for the first two movies. And we don't just
Yeah.
go, we don't, it's like, it's not very often we just hand out like multi-million dollar projects and let you do what you want. Like I'm sure they could have logistically, all right. I'm sure that if someone at Sony sat down and did the numbers and said, Green Goblin was a good choice. And who was in the other one? Who was it? Was it just Green Goblin in the first movie, or was there another one?
Yeah, it was Green Goblin, and then who? Doc Ock was too, I think.
Yeah. Like they kind of, it's like, listen, you're picking top tier characters, but you're
Yeah.
also picking characters from like 1960s to 1970s. The demographic that's here really wants to see these 80s characters, and by 80s characters, we fucking mean Venom.
Yeah.
Like we mean Venom.
Yeah.
And they were like, and he wanted originally Sandman. So he's like, all right, I'll give you Sandman. And I think it was Sandman and Venom, right? And
Right.
and he's like, okay, I'll give you. And long story short, Sam Raimi acted like a little bitch. The writing wasn't that great, but really, coming from the guy who made my favorite horror movie of all time, which is the original first Evil Dead,
Yep.
it sounded like he acted kind of like a little bit of a bitch on that third one, and just, I don't know, he kind of took his ball and didn't go home, but just did what he wanted instead. And I don't know. And let's be honest, Topher Grace cast as Venom when all of us grew up watching him be Red Foreman on that 70s show was not an easy sell.
Yes.
Like, I don't know how much you watch that 70s show, but my pops actually used to record it so that way I could watch it with him on the weekends when I would hang out, because like, that was my life as a teenager in the 2000s. I jokingly say, like, that was all my friends and shit. So all I saw was him as Topher Grace and like Red Foreman like threatening to beat the shit out of him, and like every time I pictured him getting out of line, I just pictured Red going, listen, African American Spider-Man, you got two options here, like my foot and your ass.
Dude, big mood.
Like, again, he was a great actor. Like, I'm not gonna lie, he actually, like, right down to like the spiked hair, like they really tried to get him to fit the Eddie Brock role, but the problem is Eddie Brock even in the comics is kind of beastly looking. Believe it or not, the very first guy that was ever considered for Venom, and I'm talking like, I remember reading this on the internet, the very first guy they ever considered for the internet was way before he was 1/10 of the deal he is now, but they considered The Rock
Oh wow.
to be like Spider-Man 3 Venom.
Wow.
Because he wasn't that big of a deal, but his body fit the mold. And I guess if you threw blonde hair on him, because this is before he got like big, he was always a big guy. Don't get me wrong.
Remember?
He was a pro fucking wrestler. But I'm not gonna lie, I have a friend who's into some growth hormone stuff. And it's not like you can look at someone and identify. But when I went up to him, I said, "So what happened here?" He goes, "Oh yeah, no." He just looked at it. He's like, it's not like there's anything wrong with that if you're doing it in the right capacity. But he's like, that's not normal. He's like, that's absolutely. He's like, and you know what? If you do it in the right way and you're doing it for yourself and you're not actually in a competitive sport, it's not that bad. All right. If you're not trying to prove that you're the best at something, whatever. But he just looked at it. He's like, absolutely, there's something going on there. That is, he's like, you could show me that guy's diet all day and night, my friend. He's like, there's only one reason he's always that hungry, and I don't want to say it out loud, but that's part of the game, is training harder, eating harder. Right. But hey, but like, again, pre HGH Rock was a consideration in Spider-Man
How
3.
crazy would that have been? That's like Tooth Fairy and like Doom era Rock,
right,
where he was in like garbage
absolutely.
movies.
Yeah. But you know what? The Rock, I'll tell you what, you grew up in the Attitude Era, and I was watching wrestling right when The Rock came in, and Rock, when he was Rocky Maivia, was so deplorable. I used to watch house shows in New Jersey, in Continental Airlines and Arena, which was which is what I guess not the Izod Center, but yeah, I guess it is the Izod Center. It's not there anymore. Long story short, basically they built an arena on a swamp and wondered why it slowly sank for 20 years. That's the that's engineering geographics of New Jersey for you. But you know, they built this thing and he was like opening match. All right, mom, let's go get like popcorn and shit match to me. Like
exactly.
Same thing with Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Oh man, if they weren't facing the Undertaker, I didn't give a shit. I was like, they were like, you know, my friend was a Shawn Michaels fan. They weren't later on in the card, but I remember like seeing The Rock and just seeing that whole story unfold before my eyes. Like, what a cool story to have. Like, and I don't even mean to like get like corny about it, but like, I feel kind of privileged that I saw it like that. Like I was one of those guys, like when people talk about The Rock, I literally like, my dad talks about how he had a chance to see Twisted Sister before when they were opening up for other bands and he thought nothing of them at the time. And he's like, now he's just one of those guys talking about when he knew Twisted Sister way back when, you know, like, you know, same shit happened. But like, that's me with The Rock. I was like, The Rock, the most popular guy on Instagram. Yeah, he used to be opening match, no merch at the merch table because they just didn't know what to fucking sell it. Like he was a third generation superstar. Like any of us gave a fuck. Like there was
crazy.
There was no Hulk Hogan. There was nobody at the time. It was just a bad time.
The rise of The Rock. Crazy.
Wild to watch. You know, you saw he actually came to my town and signed his book in like the late 90s when I have a first print signed copy from him. You know, I think it's worth like maybe like $200-300 on eBay, but that's mine. I'm holding on to that. I got to meet him in person.
Yeah, that's sick, man.
Yeah. I was actually a big Al Snow fan at the time. And
love Al Snow.
I went up to like, no joke. My friends thought I wouldn't do it. I wrote "Help Me" across my forehead backwards.
Yeah.
And when I got down there, I looked at him real confused and he looked up at me and I went, "You're not Al Snow." And he cracked up at me. He goes, "Holy shit, I take it you're an Al Snow fan." I was like, "Yeah, man, I am, but thanks so much." I shook his hand. But like the way he just looked up at me, because I looked up at him with like a genuine perplexed face. I was like, straight up like, "You're not Al Snow." And he's just like, "Oh my God," like "Help Me" written across my head. Like he's probably, if he wasn't such a big guy, he probably would have thought, can we get some security over here? Like,
dude, that is like one of the best stories I've heard. That is so good.
I promise you, he doesn't remember that story for an inch of his life. But
yeah, my
bookstore, he was the first one to come. And then we had Triple H for the WrestleMania book that came out in the 2000s.
Wow.
Stone Cold came through. China came through for her book. This is when WWE was a money-making machine. And like, I'm from a small town in New Jersey. All right. Like you should have seen the line for this bookstore. Like this bookstore had, you know, routinely had celebrities come through. It was their thing. I don't know what their contract was, but they had somebody somewhere. But when The Rock came through, it was disgusting. Like it wrapped around the town block and went all the way down to another block. The store was on a corner. And it's, long story short, it was not a corner store, but the store's, long story short, the line wrapped around an entire block and then went down another block and forced a gap to happen to the point where they crossed the street for the next block. But then the line got so long, the answer was to just follow the block that they were on. Instead of crossing over, they went in like a C-section around the block. My boss at the time worked at the pizzeria. He went outside and sold slices for $1.50 all fucking day and night. And and like he would like split the cost with like the waitress that he sent out there. He'd be like, just go out there and sell the slices for like, I don't know, like sell them for 50 cents less than we sell them in the store and keep half for yourself. And he was just fucking murder it. Like it was ridiculous. You know, like cute waitresses coming up to you while you're trying to talk to, you know, wait for the
walking around with boxes. Sure.
Shit, man. Hell's yeah, man. You know, pizzeria is right there. The pizza can't be that cold. You know, those are the old days. Let me ask you, are you a fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Hell yeah, of course.
Have you checked out any of the footage for the new game?
I've not checked out the footage for the new game, but I know we're getting a new game and we're getting a new movie, right?
We're definitely getting a new game. I haven't checked. Yes, we are getting a new movie. I think I'm just remembering something I read in my head, but yes.
Seth Rogen, TMNT.
Yeah, that's right. Oh man, what a great guy to handle it. That's right. I just remembered it now. Yeah, okay. Hopefully we can fix what happened with the last two, which wasn't so great.
Trash. Talk to me about the game though. What's going on?
So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Cool. It is a side scroller that looks like it's in the art style of pardon me. It's a beat 'em up and it's in the style of Turtles in Time.
Hell yeah.
You go pulling up a Turtles in Time run this, I'll rob you right here, man.
Yeah. Do you want me to? No.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous. No, Turtles in Time is one of my favorites. and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game. And it's
Yeah.
just like they keep on showing new characters. Like obviously you have the 4 turtles, but they show that you can play as April O'Neil, and now they're showing you can play as Master Splinter.
Oh, hell yeah.
But the problem is no one knows what's taking so long for a 2D game in 2022, because they showed us this like little bit like before 20, like they showed us this in early 2021 maybe, and it looks pretty goddamn
Really?
good. Yeah, it looks pretty goddamn good because it was supposed to be announced. I don't know. I was told the original release date was February 2022, and that was when February 2022 seemed like quite some time away, to be quite honest with you. But it looks fantastic. Like really, really good. Let's see if I copy something here.
I love Turtles in Time.
Oh, dude, it was so good. Do you actually have that though? Because if you do, that's badass as fuck.
I'll try to see if I can.
Yeah, I was about to say, I can see you
Yeah.
having that one. That's a rarity. What else is there? The Turtles in Time, and there was what was the other one? I forgot all about it. The arcade game, but that only came out for the arcade. You couldn't get that for a console. That was only
The arcade game you could get for the Nintendo, but it didn't hit as hard as it did in the
it
arcade.
didn't.
Like
No,
the
no.
graphics were just nowhere near.
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't. It wasn't. I should stand corrected. I actually used to play that very game with my mom when I was a kid, but you never
Hell
got
yeah.
you never got a correct port of it. You're right. But yeah, on Instagram, when you get a chance, you don't have to do it now. I sent you the footage of the new Turtles game. It looks really, really good. It's gonna be multiplayer too, which will be great. Me and you got to get down on that shit. And, definitely throw down. That's ridiculous, man. That's so good. I remember renting that one, and I had really good. That's a
The
rare
best.
one too. That's a really rare one too. Apparently, like that's
So
a
good, dude.
that one will fetch you a pretty penny here and there.
Love
So-
Turtles in Time, man.
Yeah, man, that was awesome. Let me see what else do I got here. Oh, check this out. You know how what's it called? You've heard about the whole Blizzard Activision thing, right? Like Blizzard Activision.
Yeah, what the hell's what's going on?
You give me 1 second to go take a quick dab, and I'll come right back and I'll fill you in on that. Is that okay? With you, my friend? Thank you.
Yeah. Yo, my bad.
No, all good.
Actually,
All good. No, it's all
Hit the
good.
bathroom real quick. Yeah, what's up?
I thought you were hitting something else. But that's like,
Yeah.
you know how it is out there. Are you guys legal over there yet? I can't remember. Are you one of the states where it's not yet?
So no, yeah, we're medical here. So
Right,
actually,
right.
funny enough, for 3 years I worked at a dispensary doing like marketing,
that's
photo and
awesome.
video. So yeah, heavily involved in cannabis culture and all of that for
That's
sure.
dope. That's dope. All right, cool. Yeah, we'll definitely have some off-camera talks about this as well. Stuff
Sure.
that definitely can be
Yeah,
said.
man.
It's legal in my state too, but you know, it's just better play it safe. I was just always curious about your state's legality.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, Microsoft Activision. So how it works is Microsoft bought Activision and Blizzard, right? Now, Activision and Blizzard at the time were undergoing, like, basically how it works is it was like basically a frat house to work there. Like female staffers were being like severely disrespected. New
Right.
staffers of any sex were basically being hazed and, you know, welcomed in and forced to possibly do degrading things to said female staffers and treated as a normal way of, you know, existence, blah, blah, blah. Of course, it comes out that this is happening. Hundreds upon hundreds of people are fired, many more disciplined. CEO steps down. But amidst all of this, out of nowhere, Microsoft somehow fucking is the only one that has their head in the game, no pun intended, and swoops in and says, we're buying it all, right? Microsoft buys them, right? Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I remember I said in my podcast, I was like, there are people out there that really think after spending $69 billion, that's what Microsoft spent, $69 billion to acquire Activision Blizzard, who owns the likes of such things as, you know, Battlefield, Diablo, like just fucking everything that makes money, right? They're like, oh, now all these Sony guys are in trouble because it's going to be Xbox exclusives. And I was like, yes. And you're a small business owner too. So, you know, the best way to make back your money after spending $69 billion to acquire something is to immediately limit the amount of people who can buy that by only releasing it on your platform. That's just how you do it, man. Like selling, like imagine making money off PS5 buyers, even though you're a Microsoft company. That's stupid. That's not how this works. That's not how this works, right? No, that's not how you make money. I mean, you just want to limit your product to as little people as possible. I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore. No, but really, people really thought that was the way to make, like, people were like, oh, I was like, no, that's not how that's going down. And that was another article that I had before, but I lost it. Basically, how it works is, I said in my podcast, I was like, yo, I promise you, Microsoft saw the open wound in this company and just dove into it right away.
I mean, yeah, they just pounced on it. It sounds like, and
dude,
what that company was, what, like, never gonna really be the same after that. I'm
no,
sure.
no, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the craziest part is, I was right, but I wasn't just right. I was super right. Talks started on acquisition 3 days after the bombshell came out. That's what this next part is about. That's the article that I'm covering right now. 3 days after the bombshell came out, Microsoft made an offer. Like,
because they knew.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Microsoft is, and I've been saying this in my past podcast, it's getting to a point where console exclusives don't make sense anymore. Everybody needs to make money. Everybody needs to eat. I know it's kind of heartbreaking to say to you, but we need to kind of abolish the idea of physical media a little bit more, not completely, but we need to do more diskless releases. So that way, maybe there could be a talks of profit margins going a little bit better to developers and shit like that. I know it's really probably gonna end up in the pockets of the greedy CEOs and shit like that.
Probably.
But like, as someone who got into, like, like the cyberpunk thing, and like, really, I had a great time with that game, but I have a really over the top gaming rig, so I don't really expect everybody to have the situation I had. But
sure.
It really opened up eyes to individuals about what's going on behind the scenes and how bad it is. Like, we were like, think about what gaming was when we were playing like Nintendo and Super Nintendo. We didn't know anything about developers. We didn't know anything about anything. We just knew that somebody made video games, and it seemed like sorcery. Like, how do you make a video game? Like, what do you mean? Like, now we understand that there are people out there that are really getting fucking clobbered overhead. And I think it's really important that we try to find a way to minimize the cost of manufacturing and really try to pass it along, unfortunately, to other people in the process, because these developers are maybe not getting paid nothing, but I would like to see them get paid a little bit more. And I think this is a good step in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against that by any means. I always think there should be, and like I said, like how the Switch is doing it, there's companies that are producing physical copies still, but they're limited runs.
Right.
There's
And
only so many.
And that's
so
what
let's do that. Let's just do that.
That's dope.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to me because now I'm a PC guy. I have a PS5, right? Like, I bought a PS5 because I wanted one, because I'm a Spider-Man fan, and the only way I can play Spider-Man is the system. Like, I've tried every other means. But like, this whole Game Pass idea, well, we're kind of ripping on Nintendo for the idea of it. Nintendo's trying to give us something we've had for like 20, 30 years already. Like, don't charge me $15.99 a month or whatever. You don't, even $5 a month to play old classic N64 games. What the fuck is that? Like, let me just buy them and let me buy them and keep them and use them as DLC. Like, why can't it be like it used to be? Why do I have to pay you more money? Do something like that. In this whole case, like I said, Microsoft is now going to make money off PS5 sales. Like, that's going to be better for the industry, because Sony actually spent, I think, $3.6 billion acquiring Bungie, the studio that actually came up with Halo. And they're just trying to more or less have a way where they can make money off of other console sales, because we're watching the industry get to a point where anybody making money is becoming increasingly difficult. Like, I don't know who the fuck keeps GameStop in business. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, like nobody's really making money in the gaming industry off of new games. Like, you have friends that own game stores, I'm sure. And I would imagine they sell new video games, or no?
Everybody's selling new video games, but people aren't really I mean,
they have them in stock. Yeah.
That's of course.
Okay. That's more or less, because people aren't buying them, but they're not buying them, if that makes sense. Like, they are, but they aren't. And I know what you want to say. You can't, it's that weird transitional period where it's not that popular, but it's not completely phased out. I don't know. Kind of like,
yeah, exactly.
Like as we watch, like, the best way to put it is, it's like Blu-rays. Like, who the fuck even buys Blu-rays? But they're out there. People want the Blu-ray.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you're a horror fan, a lot of these limited edition.
You're buying Blu-rays. You're buying Blu-rays.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're buying like Texas Chainsaw Massacre collections, or you're buying the new Netflix one when it comes out, if it has a limited release. that's not the same as like who's buying like Jungle Cruise on Blu-ray? Like who's buying
Yeah, I
Terminator?
mean,
Like who's buying
eh,
I don't know, the Venom 2 on Blu-ray? Like I know there are comic book fans out there, but really outside of them, who's buying these movies on Blu-ray? Like everything's digital.
there are so just being in the realm of like the movie community and the horror movie community, there are a ton of people that collect Blu-rays, and it's like anything else. Like, does it have the slipcover? Does it not have the
Right,
slipcover?
right,
Like,
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you
I'd
know,
like to hear this. Keep on going. This is cool. Yeah, tell me more about what I'm missing out on because this is fascinating to me.
yeah, man. So like, I have a friend, a local friend, who literally every single Scream Factory release that comes out, which is a horror distribution company, he
Mhm.
buys the Blu-ray, and those are $36 a piece, and they are limited. So
Yeah.
people still are collecting physical media, dude. And the Blu-rays, with these new distributors like Vinegar Syndrome and Arrow Video and like all these, you're getting copies of movies that might have only come out on VHS and that look like shit on VHS
Yes.
and then
Yes.
are, remastered and then put onto, these Blu-rays, and you might not
Right,
even
right.
find them on digital streaming services, and if you do, they might not look very good and they might not have all these extras and
See,
stuff.
that's awesome.
So
We're talking film preservation. Preservation of any kind, be it film
yeah,
or games. I'm big on ROMs and stuff like that. And I'm big on what Nintendo does, even though they're charging for it. But it's more important for people on our end to hold up to the preservation side of things. And if you have an individual company out there that sees that there's like that's badass, that that's actually what's going on. But like as
yeah,
far as like I said, like the new Jungle Cruise and stuff
yeah.
like
Like I
that,
said,
I
probably
get
not a big a deal. Yeah, as big a deal.
like parents aren't rushing to get their kids these new Disney DVDs the way ours used to rush and get us the VHSs, like those big bubble case VHSs when we were kids.
Yep.
That's not really a concern for parents anymore because it's like, dude, we have Disney
No.
Plus, we have Netflix,
Yeah.
like we spend $100 a month in streaming services, and then we still have basic cable because we don't even know that we don't need it, and our cable company still hits us for it. Like,
Yep.
and we have that whole they have the package where they can watch on like 7 devices with no problem. Like, there's just no need for those people to add the desire to their list to go grab Jungle Cruise when they're at Walmart or something. It's just
Yeah, and this is
not,
the only. I was gonna say that this is the only reason why I am happy that I own a lot of these Super Nintendo games still and these N64 games still, so I don't have to pay Nintendo that fucking extra.
absolutely. Fuck Nintendo.
That,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
extra,
If it means you don't have to pay Nintendo, I support it 1,000%.
like, where am I going to be able to play Chester Cheetah's Too Cool to Fool?
I had that game. I rented that shit all the time with my pops.
Yes, you did.
Leonardo DiCaprio meme.
Wait, what?
Leonardo DiCaprio meme.
Oh, look at so
Oh, that's
good.
the greatest thing I think I've ever seen. Oh man, that was a trip renting that one. That was one of those oddball rentals where I was like, what the fuck am I even doing? like it's a big version of where the fuck am I going? Like, oh man, that's a great one.
That is the definition of an impulse rental, no
Yeah,
doubt.
dude. Like I used to rent it and be like, I remember this from last time, but it all just seems like some Super Nintendo platformers just seem like fever dreams when you try and recall them. Like you ever try and explain one
Yeah.
to people, like trying to explain like Rocco's Modern Life to people. It's like, no, I'm pretty sure there was never a Rocco's Modern Life video game. It's like, no, there was, and you had to protect Spunky.
Spunky. Yeah.
And you had to move things around. It's like, but you didn't shoot anything. No, why would you
No.
do that? It's like
You just had to make sure Spunky got through the level
Oh man,
alive.
I remember my mom bought me that game, and I got home and I was mildly bummed the fuck out. I was like, all right, this is cool, but I mean,
It's like
I was like, it's a pretty bonkers IP. This is the best they could have done. Like,
it's not what you would expect, but it's not terrible.
no, it's not terrible. Don't get me wrong, it's actually a very playable and decent game, but it's
Yeah.
like, what an insane IP to just fucking drop the ball on. Like you
Yeah.
could have gave me like a Rugrats game like that or a Doug game like that. But come on, man. Like that wasn't right.
Yeah, like I'm not shooting like boogers like out of my nose, or like my
Like-
brain's not coming out of my head to like do certain things. You know what I mean?
like
I just gotta
yeah,
protect my dog.
Like where's the succomatic level where I ride
Yeah.
a succomatic? Like where's a bonus stage where like this
Facts.
just seems like a bonus stage within a Rocco's Modern Life game. Like,
Yeah,
like over
Wow.
and over again.
that's so true.
It broke my heart. I mean, it wasn't like, I don't know if you played Real Monsters. That was a pretty good one though. I
That
played
was good.
Yeah, I played that on the Sega Genesis. And of course, if we're talking retro games and we're talking like hard games, we have to talk Disney and Lion King. And the fact that like Disney straight up told their programmers, like, listen, we don't want kids to be able to beat this in a rental. They have to own this to beat it. I was like, that's some malicious Disney shit. Like
The Lion King was hard as shit. The Jungle Book was hard as shit.
Aladdin.
Aladdin was good. I did beat Aladdin, but it wasn't easy either.
Yeah. The Sega Genesis Aladdin with the fucking Yeah, the best is when two different studios would work on the same IP and like you would play it on different systems. Like I don't know, even right down to the Power Rangers, which was like a side scroller beat 'em up on the Super Nintendo, and then the Sega Genesis, it was a fighter. It was like what?
It was a fighting game. Yeah,
it's like who's handling this IP? And even like my thing is like, all right, listen, how do you give the hottest IP to someone at the time? And their answer is fighting game. Like even Ninja Turtles, which had a tournament fighter, had like 6 games before that. They were just like literally they were like knee-jerk reaction. Like first game on the Sega Genesis for Power Rangers, it'll be a fighter. What about shut up fighter? Like
fighter.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, we didn't get a side scroller until the movie adaptation of the game for the Sega.
Yeah, that was decent though. That was
cool.
That was mildly arcade quality beat 'em up.
That was good.
And the Super Nintendo had a couple of those. You know what I liked as a beat 'em up too? Sunset Riders.
You know what? One of the games that's eluded me over the years, but I heard it's fantastic.
I had it on. Wow, really? I bought it for like $20, or no, I bought it for like $10 at like as a video rental store as an open box used rental. I don't know if you remember those gems back in the day.
Of course.
Oh man, yeah, that was some shit. Yeah, man. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, man. The open box used rentals were always a plus.
Yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
Love those.
So let's see. I think I have one more article and that's it. Oh yeah. This is new. This came out on Friday at 11:45 a.m. So basically hundreds of sealed 90s games that were just publicly revealed could be worth $1 million. A factory sealed copy of Chrono Trigger is just one of the incredible haul.
Wow.
Yeah, this guy posted something anonymously. Video game store closes in 1994. Inventory found 27 years later. That's what this is? Wow. Dude, this is nuts.
A millionaire now.
Dude, this is insane. Like I'm just gonna scroll through the video with the sound off. What? The video game store closed in 1994 and he found what? Dude, this store was closed right around the time the PlayStation 1 came out. That's insane.
That means all of his inventory is going to be worth the most too, based off of the year it closed.
Yeah.
For first gen Nintendo and Super Nintendo.
Dude, there's some sealed goodies in here. Wow, but the craziest was that they have a sealed Chrono Trigger. There's a sealed Mortal Kombat 2. Dude, they have 4 sealed Aladdins for Super Nintendo.
Yeah. Wow.
What? They have a sealed Mortal Kombat. Oh my God. They have a sealed. This is insane. Wow. So anyway, this guy found this and he's just not saying who he is for very smart reasons. And he's going to try to sell it. But dude, that's at least $1 million. Wow. Wow.
So I went to college at Temple University in Philly, and so I'm like walking. I lived I lived on Broad Street by the venue called the Met. A lot of musicians and comedy acts run through there, but at the time it wasn't there yet. My street was like up and coming, my area right there. So when I would walk to school sometimes on nice days, dude, I would pass this cell phone store.
Yeah.
And in the cell phone store, there was a PS2 neon in the window. So I was just like, this is like kind of in the hood, and like it was just like shitty, and like there was like graffiti on the windows and stuff. But I was like, let me just go in here and see what's good. So, dude, I walk in and it's like half cell phone store, and then I go on the side and it's a video game store.
Wow.
But, dude, this dude has old fucking stock of sealed N64, sealed GameCube, sealed PS2, Game Boy, all this shit. Dude, I would go there, and like I didn't have a lot of money at the time, I was a broke college student, but I would buy anything I knew that was of value that like wasn't like really a sports game or anything, and
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
just
Sports games
I
are
w-
never really worth anything.
no and I would buy these sealed games. And during the early days of the video game community on Instagram, I ended up selling a lot of these or trading them or selling them on eBay. Dude, I had like I had like sealed Quake for like the
Wow.
64. I
Quake 60.
had
Wow.
Quake 64 sealed. I think I had like a Paper Mario sealed. I had some puzzlers that were like sealed games.
Shit.
Nightmare Creatures sealed for the 64, like all this stuff. And I think the only game that I didn't open that I still have that I bought from this little rinky-dink store was a Oddworld Munch's Odyssey for the Xbox that
Wow.
I had
That's a
that I had
unique one.
yeah, that I
Oddworld.
have
Yeah.
sealed still. Yeah, yeah. And just because I love the Oddworld series, but now looking back on it, like I could have cleaned that store out. It's
Right.
just
Right.
like,
If we only knew, man, like, oh man, for our parents, it was cars. For us, it's video games. Like,
and that wasn't even that long ago. That was maybe 2014, maybe 2013.
wow.
Yeah. So damn, it's just crazy what the sealed market is right now. Like I just put a bunch of sealed common tapes that I have on eBay just because I saw people are now trying to grade VHS tapes and sell copies of Star Wars that are sealed in Happy Gilmore for like $5,000
I mean, that's the
on
next move,
eBay.
right? That's the next move.
Yeah,
Um,
it's crazy.
I remember when sealed N64 games were going for like what was it, like 5 grand and shit like that. I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. But now it's just like shit. It's just like pick a number and people will
Yeah,
pay it.
it's
I mean,
nuts.
it's crazy. The collectors out there like yourselves, you had a really good time there where it wasn't too bad. And then you had like last, what was it? I want to say a little, at least the last 10 years were kind of rough, with the last 2 years of those 10 years with being like a small like downturn, as like people get older and fall out of it, and the people trying to make money with it fucking weasel their way out and don't make any money. And it gets to a point where before you know it, it's all affordable again, except for collector circles where that shit will always be held to a higher standard. But
Yeah,
that's why it's kind of cool to have like, what you do. You make these retro design stuff, like, like who knows like what it would take to actually find a real Halloween 3 shirt, like, from like
right.
that bad, if they even exist, like the
And
one
that's the
design,
idea.
you
Yeah.
know. So that's why, if you don't mind, I wanted to ask you a little bit more, go into your business, and if you don't mind, what you do and how it
Yeah.
started, because people have gathered that you make awesome like horror themed merch. But how did it start? How did Tapes from the Crypt happen?
Yeah, so basically, like I said, I was in like the retro game community to start, and after games started kind of getting a little crazy and stuff, I started buying tapes at thrift stores and stuff because I was just a big movie guy. Like I went to film
Yeah,
school, and I just loved all that stuff. So yeah, I
that's cool.
started
That's
buying
cool.
VHS tapes, yeah, flea markets, all that stuff, and then there was other people doing it, and then like at one point we like everybody was trading and helping out build each other's collections, and you would have small like sales on Instagram. And like at one point there was a club, and like all these people from Instagram would enter their IG handles, and you would get like a random person like a secret Santa, and you would like send them
Oh, cool.
packages and like all kinds of stuff. And it was really great there for a while, but all great things come to an end, and like everybody
Of
started
course.
collecting tapes, and then people started getting fucked over, weren't getting their trades, or they'd show up and there'd be like a Disney tape inside of like inside of a slip cover, and
Yeah, yeah,
they wouldn't even match up. And
yeah.
so and then the market started getting crazy too. So I kind of stepped away, and I was like, I have this big following and I love tapes, and I always wanted to start my own clothing company. And I attempted to do one in 2015, 2016, but it was more cannabis related. And then that's a whole other story of
Yeah, yeah,
how
that's a market that you can get into. But yeah, I get it. Like sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes the market you have an idea for isn't there.
yeah, and let's just say I was like funding that company, in a non, legit way. So we kind
Oh
of
yeah, I've been
almost,
there.
yeah, we almost got into some problems there. So I stepped away from that. But then, 2019 rolled around, and as you know, like subscription boxes were really big, and like that kind of thing. That was like a big craze for a while. So I'll give you an example. Here's the volume 3 of the original Tapes from the Crypt box set, and this is the Weekend at Bernie's box, which is pretty cool. And basically, and this is actually
Wow.
signed by Bernie. which is cool. He the original guy who played Bernie actually has this on his mantle in Colorado, which is really
That's
cool. When I
beautiful.
met him, I gave
Wow.
him one. So yeah, this is like a big box, supposed to resemble like a big box VHS, and inside you'd actually get the T-shirt that would match the front cover, as well as like a
Okay.
promo item. Yeah, like this came with like a Weekend at Bernie's Beach Ball, like a T-shirt and everything, and then on the back I'd have like the preview for the next box. So I did 5 of these volumes, like when I
Yeah.
started the company, and yeah, they were like, like $40 to $50 depending on what it was, and you get the whole box set too, and you can
That's
put a
cool
tape
as
in it.
shit. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. But then the pandemic hit, and I worked with my buddy who would help me out, and 2 of the companies that were producing these boxes for us went under because of the
Oh,
pandemic.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
then,
As that does
yes.
happen.
So then, as it happened to so many, you know what I mean? So we just kind of had to react. So I just kind of just started just making, clothes and all kinds of stuff because I had to pivot in order to keep the company going.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome, man. Like the whole
yeah,
like I don't know how you handle your avenues to acquire these abilities to do these things, but they
yeah,
all come out so cool, man. Like I said, I love mine. I have, like I said, I have the other jerseys, and
yeah,
unfortunately for you, I don't know if you're okay with when you got hacked by that dude or whoever did you dirty on the Instagram.
yeah,
That sucks because it happened like, dude, it was like I was all ready because I had done something for another vendor who had clothing that I was really excited. I'd done something for another vendor and it went over great. And he was really happy. He was really appreciative. He was like, you could tell I really liked his clothes and it was a horror themed affair. And I was just getting ready to like come up with like a video promo for you and send you like the rough copy of me in front of a green screen doing my thing.
yeah,
And then your shit, it broke my heart because it happened to my friend. And I was really just like, I was just scrolling through my stories and all of a sudden I saw in your story just the money show up. And I was like, fuck, are you serious? I was like, oh no. And then
yep,
tacos from the, because I knew immediately what was up. I was like, fuck. Like before you even announced it, I was like, this is bad. I was like, this is kind of shitty because I really, really, and then tacos from the crypt. Thankfully, you had your backup there and you let the whole world know you got hacked because that happened
yeah,
to like everybody. They hit my friends twice. My friend got his account hacked, didn't get his back like yours did, made another account. They hit that one too. It was just ridiculous. And it
yeah.
just, I was just ready to have some fun with this and make promos for it. But I just never got around to it because I was like, yeah, this isn't going to end well for him. I was like, I don't even know what to promo here because like I can't tell people to check out tapes from the crypt because they're going to go fucking get scammed. Like, what the fuck
Yeah,
am I
dude.
supposed to do?
Such a
Like,
bad error for just like scamming and everything. Like it really sucked. Like
oh
that
yeah,
guy,
absolutely.
yeah, that person, not only disrupted my business for 2.5 months, but hit some of my customers too. Luckily, we got the word out as fast as we could, but
Yeah, I
obviously
know.
some people, who I'm not, super close to or might not know, definitely got hit, which was super
Yeah,
unfortunate.
man,
But
that's rough. And
yeah. But I'm just
yeah,
happy I
man.
got it back.
Yeah,
It
I was
was
surprised. You're the only person I know who did get it back.
yeah, it
Um,
was
um,
it was like 2 days before Christmas, man. It was like the best Christmas present
yeah,
ever.
man. And then we all have our our downfalls in our small business runnings. Be it that or sometimes my truck lets go on me and I have to find a new like landscaping truck or something like that.
Yep.
It's just shit that happens. But I'm just glad that you bounced back from that because the new stuff you've been showing off is really really awesome as well. And you had mentioned that you're looking to kind of revamp the company. You mind if I ask what you're looking to do? Because you already make some really high quality stuff, and if you're looking to up the quality
Yeah.
even more, that's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. So it kind of actually started with the jerseys, and yeah, we're just gonna be revamping the company. We're gonna be working on the branding. I'm probably gonna be archiving like 90% of the posts that I have, and
Cool.
just putting a whole new look.
Yeah, I'm on the
Uh,
same feeling myself with with the whole Ilsun 4K.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
but continue onward. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Continue.
yeah. Absolutely, man. Yeah, just like I said, just kind of gonna have consistent branding and just put out some new stuff. Like I just put out those embroidered like color block sleeve Nightmare 3
Yeah, yeah. That
hoodies.
that was one of my first Nightmare on Elm Street
Yeah, yeah,
viewings.
yeah.
I saw the first one and then I saw the third one. That was my viewing order, so I was really really happy. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. Like you're. I mean, the sweatshirt looks great. I've been like a gearhead, you could call it, long enough to really like call out
Yeah.
good clothing just by kind of looking at it. And that if that's a prototype or whatever that is, that's very very nice looking. You know,
Yeah.
as I said, I was spoiled by being like an Insane Clown Posse fan because those guys took their merch like super super seriously,
Yeah.
like super duper. Like everything you bought from them, from the lowest T-shirt to their hockey jerseys, which were like again 150 at the time in like
Yeah.
2003, they had such good shit. Like their sweatshirts were so like thick and nice. It's not like they were winter coats for like, you know, one layer and you were good, but they were thick.
Right.
They were nice. They didn't feel thin, you know, they didn't feel like they got thin after one wash, you know, like, you know, as long as you turned them inside out and took care of them. And that's just what I get looking at that Nightmare on Elm Street you know, sweatshirt that you got. It just reminds me of that like high quality look and feel. Like I like they say you can't touch a picture, but I know
Yeah.
what that material feels like. And it's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
it's a rewarding touch as a creator when you can't do something and you trust someone else to do it and they give you something back that looks that nice, because that's a really fucking nice upgrade. And if that's a
Yeah.
sign of things to come, I'm super excited.
Yeah, man. Like the quality on it is fantastic, and I'm gonna be moving to a lot of like embroidery hoodies. I'm actually and this will be the first time I'm announcing this, but I'm gonna be doing like actually
Oh,
like fucking pants, like jeans and stuff. Because you know what I
oh,
want to do? I want to bring back, and I don't even know if I should say this, but because I don't want to give my idea away, but I already have one in the works, so I'm not really shook
yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Jenko style
Oh, I knew
jeans.
you were gonna say that, dude. I had
Yeah,
so many Jenkos as a kid.
yeah,
They were the jeans that took me out of like tight pants that my mom bought me because she didn't know they were out of style to like, you know, being in style.
yeah,
Jenko just did a big comeback, just so you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You might want to look into this campaign a little bit because it's actually fairly serious.
yeah,
Like some scalpers bought up a lot of the inventory and are trying to sell it secondhand to give you an idea.
yeah,
So maybe you can get in on that. But
yeah, yeah,
just be aware that they did just have a solid comeback. So research that a little bit because I only know because like I said, I just saw it. But
yeah, yeah,
yeah, I was a big fan of that. But I would like to see some jeans come out. That would be kind of cool. You got to remember jeans are always fucking expensive to manufacture.
yeah,
I used to be a musician, so I'm really only familiar with like t-shirt and sticker prices, you could say. Like I've never been as in-depth as you are. Like
yeah,
I've never seen an embroidery quote, nor do I think I ever want to, because like
yeah,
the idea of what it costs to do that predator thing fucking scares me.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
like you
yes,
know, it's just like I can only imagine what you have to like do to like get to like handle that and get quality out of it and make sure you're getting quality, because it's not cheap for you, man. It's not like
yeah,
the prices are cheap in general in my opinion of what I've seen in the past. Like again, maybe it was the ICP and they were a humongous band and they were on a record label and they had a lot more hands in the cookie jar than yourself. But
yeah,
I was surprised when I saw these were only 75 bucks at a pop,
yeah,
you know, like, and I had no problem buying all three of them, you know, like
yeah,
just a hookup price, man. I was
yeah.
definitely, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, once again, I appreciate that. Yeah, and like I said, with the jean thing, it's not going to be so much like huge baggy pants. It's just going to be like I'm making like elastic waist like jeans, you
Oh,
know,
that's
that'll be
cool.
like small, medium, large, XL, 2X, and I'm just going to put like embroidered patches on the pocket, so they'll still be
That
like normal,
Yeah, that'd be
you know.
kind of cool. Like, yeah, like
Yeah,
you know, like a Halloween 2 logo and
you
like
got it. You got it. Yeah,
like Halloween 2 logo, like in the Jenko style, because you know, Jenko had like that super deep back pocket. Like, oh
yeah,
man, you're making me remember some of the best years of my life right now. Like you're really taking me down. Like I can physically feel my hand going in my back pocket and sinking like, and you know, I'm 6'2", I'm a tall dude. Like I can
yeah,
still feel myself having to arch to grab that wallet to put that 20 in that man's hand.
yeah,
I'm like, you know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah,
oh man, I would love to see something that had a pocket like that, and then at the bottom of a long ass pocket, it just says like Halloween 2 or like Halloween
yeah.
3, Season of the Witch. Um,
Yeah, I want to get like Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees like slicing a giant flaming 8 ball
yeah,
like in
man.
the or a cobra like in the vein of the early Jenko like corny 90s patches or something like that
Absolutely,
would be cool.
absolutely. So now we'll talk about what was I about to say? What's your favorite item that you've done for the company?
Yeah. So favorite item that I've done, honestly, man, is probably either the Halloween 3 jersey series that you know you're so fond of. And then honestly, this new Nightmare 3 drop that I just did, man, is if not the second most popular drop that I've done so far. And I was pretty surprised by it.
Really, really?
But
Oh man.
but the hoodies, the hat, and the flag, I mean, over 100, 150 orders in like a few days is pretty much like one of the best drops I've ever had. So
Wow.
if that's a sign of, things to come, then, I'm really excited. So really, really happy on that. And then the 420 drop from last year was fantastic, which was, a scary movie drop, Idle Hands, and Dude, Where's My Car? So that was really
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. Oh man, yeah. A lot of these are really cool. I'm not gonna lie. It looks like you're having like a lot of fun with this, and it's always
Yeah.
important. That's what makes me want to like reach out and talk to you about this stuff and like geek out and like when I see something in your story, I can't help but like message you. And like when you message someone on their story, either they message back or they don't. You know how to you're just random dude in their inbox.
Yeah.
But you've always been mad talkative to me. You've always been very chatty, and that's why
Yeah, man.
I'm glad I got to have this whole like sit down and talk with you about this on like this whole podcast because I asked you your favorite horror movie and I'm pretty sure unless I misunderstood you said it's Halloween 3, which is what
Yeah.
this is all about. And that's like I'm not gonna lie, I just saw that movie for the first time in 2020 with a friend
Oh, wow.
like I just saw it for the first time. I have a friend who since I was like 9 years old loved Michael Myers. Like it's like since I met him, he's loved Michael Myers. It's like he loved Halloween 4 more than anything in the world. He says it's the
Yeah.
best Halloween movie of all time. And now that I know what I know, I view him as slightly insane, but that's okay. Because somebody once said Halloween 3 gets a lot of flack, but let's be honest. Halloween 3 is a better movie than the next 3 Halloweens that came after it. And I was just like, I was ready to get offended. And I was just like, well, shit. Like
Yeah.
he's right. He's fucking right. Like I'm not
It's
even mad.
fantastic.
I'm not even mad at him. Like he's right. Like
Yeah.
he's right. Like that's a great movie. And I always ask my friend about it, and he's like, "Ah, it doesn't have Michael in it." He's a huge Michael Myers fan, and I'm a Halloween fan, so I'm like, "Fuck that noise."
Yeah.
And then I was just like, "Really though?" I asked him about it. I was like, "What is it like?" He's like, "Actually, it's not a bad movie." I was like, "Really?" So we watched it, and it's like, dude, it's easily like my top like 5 favorite horror movie. It's fucking
Yeah.
great. Like, oh my god, like.
And remember at the time, like Michael Myers burned alive in part
Yeah,
2.
yeah,
So
and he
they
was
didn't.
just, and they didn't even acknowledge. Michael Myers was a movie in the Halloween 3 movie.
Yeah,
He just
yeah.
shows up, like
Just because they wanted to keep the series going, but how are they going to do it if he burned alive? So let's continue the title, but just kind of make it a different thing. And
yeah,
that's what
man.
they did. And
It's a movie that really kind of stands without peers in a lot of ways.
it's fantastic.
Like
Yeah.
listen, it's not completely uncomparable, but I've had this discussion with people, like people who are like, I had a discussion with a kid who was actually really young, like I want to say like 22, 23. And I told him, I was like, yeah, one of my favorite Halloween movies is actually the Halloween 3 movie. And he paused and he looked at me. He's like, Halloween 3? He's like, you mean the movie with like the masks and stuff? I was like, yeah, man. He's like, I don't know, man. That wasn't that great. He started explaining why he didn't like the movie, which is a common thing. It is. But I asked him, I was like, can you really? I was like, can you name me 3 movies that compare to it? And he just stood there like kind of a blank. He's like, all right, fair point. I still didn't like it, but I get what you're saying. It is very unique. Like, would you agree
Yeah.
with that? Like I can't name movies that like really compare to it. Like, I don't know, maybe Children of the Corn, but that's like really, really, really stretching for a comparison there. Like,
Yeah, I'd say that's a stretch. I mean, it's definitely a standalone movie, dude. I can't really name one off the top of my head that
right.
kind of vibes with that much. And the whole vibe is still surrounded by Halloween, pardon me.
Yeah, no,
He's
absolutely.
he still takes place on Halloween night. It's still involving, somebody who's evil and wants to.
Witchcraft, sorcery, like,
Yeah,
and it was just really well done. And I mean, I had to grab these jerseys. Like I
yeah,
said, there's a couple accessories I want to grab, but what I really want to grab is I saw there's like little action figures, and they're not cheap. They're like $30 a pop. They're like little action figures of the whole
oh
thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I was like, oh man, I would love to make a diorama of like the 3 of them, like just sitting
yeah,
like on a little couch. Cause like I've always wanted to do like a miniature thing, but I've never like,
yeah,
it's really easy now too. I mean, you just go on eBay and type a miniature anything, and like you could buy like, I don't have time to mold a couch. I have a time to paint a couch if that's already
yeah,
molded, but like, like whatever. I always wanted to get, and they sell those micro screens that are literally like the size of a quarter. And I wanted to get one. They make a little TV for it. And I just wanted to have a little diorama running of like them watching it with
Oh, I
like
would
the
love
shit flashing.
that.
Like that'd be kind of cool. Like, but
Do that.
the problem is like I'm talking about something. It's like, do that. And then you're like, okay, it's $300. God damn. Like,
Yeah,
but I still would like to do it. It's a pipe dream just because that movie was really cool. That movie really caught me off guard with how good it was. I gotta say, it's easily one of my favorite horror movies. Like oh man, what's some of your favorite parts in that movie? Like besides the fact that that guy is like, what's his name again? The doctor. Oh man, why can't I forget his name?
Ooh, Tom Atkins.
Yeah, Tom Atkins.
Yeah.
Listen, let's never forget he's the true killer in that movie because he slayed the pussy every chance
He
he had.
slayed, dude.
Dude, he
All he
slayed.
needed, Marlboros, Miller High Life, and slaying that ass.
He was
That
just
was
like
all he needed.
straight up. He was so quintessential 80s sexual proudness. Damn it, my dog is moving the mic. Sorry. He was so quintessential 80s sexual proudness. Like, what did she say to him? Where would you like to sleep, Dr. Atkins? I'm like,
Yeah,
what? What?
yeah.
Oh, I know where he wants to sleep.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man.
Oh, Dr. Chalice just giving it to her like straight up and grabbing like his bare ass on screen.
And
Like,
then meanwhile, the whole fucking time, some lady's like straight lasering her face off, like two
yeah,
rooms down. Like,
yeah,
what's this thing do?
dude. And then her like literally blew her mouth apart.
Oh
Yeah,
man. Yeah, straight up, man. He's like, she'll be receiving the best medical attention ever. It's like, yeah, I bet she will.
yeah.
Oh man.
So good. I mean, I don't know if you want to get into it, but I did pull some like kind of cool tapes or just stuff I like it, from the
Yeah,
collection.
absolutely. Let me see what the tapes from the crypt has.
Yeah, so we'll start with some tapes and then we'll go through the video games and stuff too. But we'll start off with a very obscure tape. I kind of pulled this because I felt like you might be on the same vibe as me. But this is a pretty rare tape. This is actually a student film, I think, that ended up kind of getting picked up on a release. But this is Gonjosaurus Rex.
Okay. What is Gonjosaurus Rex? That sounds like some shit.
Yeah, it's essentially like a Godzilla clone. But it was kind of like a PSA, of not, supposed, you don't want to smoke.
Oh, this is not a joke at all. This is really like an anti-drug thing.
A low key, yeah. It's like the government wanted to, like eradicate growing weed and stuff. And then they encounter Gonjosaurus Rex and he just kind of goes and starts taking the city by storm.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah,
Who made this? What film what film company?
It was literally like an anti-weed video out of California, and it's just
out of California, an anti-weed
at the time
out of California. They didn't even try. They're like, yo, fuck you. We're not making shit.
Yeah, and then Rhino put it out because it was so funny. I guess
Rhino video put it out.
Remember that? Yeah.
Oh my god, Rhino video.
1988 Gonjosaurus Rex.
What the fuck?
Absolutely amazing and hilarious and terrible. But just so good that it's bad. So bad that it's good.
I'm blown away. Like an anti-weed. It sounds like you made it up as you went along. Gonjosaurus Rex. It's a anti-weed PSA video from California. Like I was like, bro, just tell me it's fake. Like you got me. You got me. Like no, that's where did you acquire that? Where did you acquire that?
Dude, I was after this for a really long time, and I ended up, I think, just buying it from somebody on Instagram that had it up. And like I said, you don't catch it very often. So I was pretty
that's
hyped.
Badass. That's one of the greatest things I've ever seen in a while.
Yeah. So a next one's really common, but it's kind of cool. This is a copy of Idle Hands, which is a horror comedy that I really like.
Of course, that's a good one. Yeah, I've seen that one.
It's signed by Devin Sawa, and he signed it Smoke Pot and Watch TV.
Nice.
Yeah, so that
was a quintessential. Let me tell you, in a time when the quintessential 90s movie was just that without a horror plot, that movie did a really good job of being a quintessential 90s movie with a horror plot. Like absolutely, it found its niche and it rolled with it, and everything about it was so perfect. Like it was just so great. Oh man,
it was great.
Absolutely.
And so I didn't pull a ton of tapes, but this is good. This is the last one that I pulled, and it's the only porno that I own, but it is the only one that matters, and it is Edward Penis Hands.
Oh my god, I've seen pictures of this. What?
The legendary big box with the hilarious legend that everyone has seen the pictures, everyone has seen the stills, but have you actually seen the movie? It is. My God, my man. Dude, this is the most outrageous thing you would ever watch in your life. I guarantee it. So do yourself a favor. If you can find a digital release or anything,
I'm sure I can. Torrents are
Yeah.
like tape Instagram. We can find anything.
get high as shit, enjoy yourself, and then see if you can make it through it. That's the biggest thing.
Like getting an erection is just not going to happen. It's just
No. It's purely for entertainment. So those are the 3 tapes that I pulled for you. I'll go through a little bit of the video games real quick too, just so we can.
Wow, I'm still blown away by the Edward penis hands. Like
There it is, dude. Edward fucking penis hands. It also got 2 sequels. I think it's a trilogy.
wow.
So some of the tops real quick. Crash 2.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, the 3D cover.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite in the series next to Crash Bandicoot Warped. Did
never
you play
was heavy. I was never heavy into the Crash Bandicoots. Actually, I never
okay.
had any of them. Not that they were bad games. I've been thinking about the trilogy every so often. I might get it when I'm bored.
I was gonna say
I'm a streamer, so that's kind of fun. So
yeah, absolutely. Next would be Top Zombies Ate My Neighbors for the Super Nintendo.
that was the original like massive multiplayer shooter for console gamers
which
everywhere.
Was fantastic.
Hey, can I ask you something? Is that a Halloween 3 mask in the background?
Yes, you finally have noticed.
Yeah, I've noticed it quite a few times, but I didn't feel like asking. And then I was like, wait. That is a Halloween 3 mask. Yeah, man. That's cool. Where'd you get that one? Is that a custom affair by you or?
No, that is not custom. Here, let me show you. I think it's just one of the Trick or Treat studios, but
okay.
This is like the office in here. This is one of the older rooms in the house, but I'll show you a couple of the. Here's a Crypt Keeper mask.
Oh, I used to have that one. I used to have that one a long time ago.
Yeah. This is actually a remake mask that Halloween masks, I think .com original, but it's actually super nice quality.
Yeah, that's really nice. Yeah, that looks way nicer than mine now that you zoom out on it. Yeah.
Here's actually the Bernie Beach ball that came with the box.
That's set. So cool, man. What a way to fit into your dynamic and your angle for that box. That's so fucking cool, man.
Yeah. This is I think this is the Curse. I actually do like the Curse of Michael Myers, but more so because Paul Rudd's in it, and I think it's hilarious that it's his first movie.
Listen, that is kind of funny.
Yeah, and then that's a Trick or Treat Studios Halloween 3 pumpkin mask, which is pretty tight.
Wow, and that's awesome.
I did end up getting the 2 Ghoulies puppets that came out from Trick or Treat Studios too, which was pretty cool. I'm not a big mask guy. That's pretty much it. Besides, I got me and my girlfriend.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, me and my girlfriend cosplay the killer clowns at conventions sometimes, so we have the full blown outfits for that, which is fun.
So I know I asked you if you live near the drive-in, but do you attend those affairs at the drive-in frequently or no?
Yeah, we hit the drive-in a good amount. We hit the Monster Mania conventions in Jersey.
Where are the Monster Mania conventions in Jersey? That's where I'm at. I'm just looking up how far I am from the Mahong Drive-In. But where do you go for New Jersey ones? I would love to run into you there sometimes.
I mean Cherry Hill, so maybe like an hour from you, hour and 15.
My mom actually has a house down in Tom's River, so I have been known to. Let me see, Mahong Drive-In. How far am I from there? From the drive-in, I am. Well, it'll tell me in a second. But yeah, so Cherry Hill, how far is that for you? I know you actually closer. I think you're a lot closer to Jersey than I think. Yeah, I'm actually 2 hours away from the drive-in myself.
That's actually not bad. That's not too bad, dude.
Yeah, what do you like? An hour and a half, 2 hours?
Yeah,
you said?
I'm an hour and a half, so only about 30 minutes closer.
I've always wanted to go to these things, and it's just like, A, I don't have anybody around who's really into that, and B, what it takes for me to work straight time off during my off season is like, it's not impossible because I work for both of my friends, but it's just like, I would like to go out there and at least run into someone I know or someone who's like mutually into this or some shit. Cause like,
yeah, man,
you're going to be out there for a couple of days. It's good to run into someone and be like, hey, what's good? How's it going?
Yeah, dude. We have a huge group of guys and
absolutely
horror fans. So we'd welcome you with open arms. We have so many people that we've
that would be
adopted over the years into the crew, and you would fit right in. So
that'd be kind of cool. I'd really appreciate that. Like my whole niche isn't just horror gaming, but like when it is, like I have as you've seen, my nights like Total Terrathon Thursdays and the Monday Night Massacre. I'm all about that, like, that like, what do we call it? Monster Vision type of vibe. Like,
Yeah,
like everybody come check it out. Like it's corny zombie shit. Like, you know what this is, you know who I am, blah, blah, blah. But no, it's cool. It sounds like something I would fit right into because that's just a nice crowd to get into. People
Yeah.
are, you guys, there's probably plenty of gamers in your circle as well. So it's like that's dope. I think it's
man.
just I gotta check that out. And you went to the last one, the last Mahong drive-in thing, or what was that? The Joe Bob Briggs thing. He just did that.
Yeah. We went. Yeah, at the Mahoney, we went to the Joe Bob Briggs and VHS Fest and everything like that. It was great. The only thing that sucked is the rain like washed us out. It was a little discouraging, to be honest. The Mahoning when it rains, it's in like a valley, so it can be very, very nasty in the mountains there. So
and like they play like a bunch of horror movies the whole time because it's driving, or is it just that's badass. That's badass. That's something I would totally take the trek for. That's dope as fuck. All right, I gotta check that out.
You would love that. So yeah, the drive-in's always good, and then the horror movie conventions in Cherry Hill are always pretty good. So definitely put those on your list for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Cherry Hill isn't too far from a lot of things now for me. So that's only reason. It's only reason my mom acquired that place. So I'm just like learning of like the South Jersey, like fest and con affairs, so to speak.
Yeah,
and
man.
It's a lot easier to throw something down there. Up here, everything is super expensive. Like this is like bougie New Jersey. Like
exactly.
For no fucking reason.
I understand that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. What do you think?
I think I got to check that out, and I think absolutely. Thank you so much for like rolling through with this, man. This is cool as fuck. I'm absolutely
hell yeah, man.
I'm absolutely a fan of like all that you've brought to the table. I want to say before I go, before we start signing off, my favorite horror movie of all time is, like I said, the original Evil Dead.
Amazing.
Something about that movie. I saw it again. I was a late bloomer on that. I saw that in 2012 for the first time. Okay. And it was a little embarrassing because I saw like Army of Darkness in like the late 90s at my grandmother's house randomly one night. And I had no idea it had a trilogy behind it. But like when I saw Evil Dead, I was like, this movie is absolutely fucking mortifying. Like it's mortifying and it's terrifying. And it's like the ultimate experience in grueling terror is the best way to describe that movie, because like the second movie was really good too. And it was way higher budget. It had a better overall look and feel, I guess you could say. Like it was more of a movie. Like it felt like something Hollywood made, like 100%. Like it didn't feel like some guy with, a camcorder and hoping for the best made it. But it was kind of slapsticky. It wasn't as like evil. Like it was evil, like, but it wasn't like demonic and like terrifying and mortifying and like this guy is just losing everything in front of him. Like it was just, I just felt like the first one was, in my opinion, and everyone will fight me to the death on this, and I can't blame them. Everyone says the second movie is the better movie, but I'm like, the first movie's way better. That's just my opinion.
No, man, I'm with you. I think Evil Dead is an absolute masterpiece, and the second one, like you said, is like the Hollywood version of the first movie, which great blood, great gore, great slapstick comedy, horror.
It was a good movie in and of itself.
But actually, I was with you. The first movie I saw out of the three was Army of Darkness, and I loved it.
Yeah,
so I love the whole trilogy as a whole.
Yeah, no, the whole thing is great. Even that 2010 or 13
was really good. It was.
That was actually, I was like, wow. I was like, I wanted to be salty because there wasn't like any follow up, but I think that's what made it work, is that like there was no follow up to like, it was just like a bunch of teens again in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like it was the first movie all over again, as it should have been. And I was like, okay, no cameo from Bruce was mildly underwhelming, but oh well.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I still thought it was good. I thought it was gonna be a lot less than it was, because I went into it like, oh boy.
Yeah, this might not be this might not be it. But yeah, dude, that movie was, I mean, any movie where it can rain blood for like 10 minutes straight. Like,
that was badass. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah. I was like, and that like fits within the confines of something that would happen in the Evil Dead universe, even though it's never really actually happened in an Evil Dead movie before.
Yeah.
And I actually like the series a lot too. I was really heartbroken when that didn't pan out.
Yeah, I was disappointed too. I thought it was great.
I thought it was awesome. I honestly, I watched it like every weekend. Like I would go to my friend's house and it was like a thing, like, yo, let's watch the new Evil Dead. Like it wasn't even a question. Like, no, Sunday series premieres and shit like that. I was there with like 3 or 4 other people. It was a great fucking great fucking show. And it's just, it is what it is. But the game's coming out. You know that, right? The game.
Yeah, the pre-order started today, I think.
Yeah, man. After the game was supposed to come out, the game was supposed to come out in October, and then it got pushed back to February because they wanted to put a one-player mode in it, which it didn't have to begin with, which was a great fucking call. Totally worth the delay because I'm not really a multiplayer person. But then after that, it got delayed again because they just hadn't polished it out. But whatever, I'll take May. You know,
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'm listening. I got plenty of games. Elden Ring comes out this Friday. I'm good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was gonna say too, just to circle back, dude, you might want to look into Monster Mania in March because I think like most of the cast of the Evil Dead series is gonna be there.
Wow. Okay.
Besides Bruce, but you know,
still that's badass as fuck.
Yeah.
See, like I just like I'm not gonna lie, I was doing like trying dance music DJ thing for a while, and then like I said, I just decided to like still want to pursue this whole entertainment affair, but I wanted to like do something more laid back. And I'm just really understanding in the last like year and a half cons and stuff like that. But I haven't met anyone who actually attends them quite in a frequency that you seem to attend them. So I'm gonna have to like hit you up and bother you every so often about like, so what's coming up, you know,
Yeah,
what's
man.
nearby.
Feel free.
Absolutely. I would love to like, you know, I just need to get out there and have some fun, you know. It wouldn't hurt to put my name and brand out there either.
I was just gonna say that, dude.
Yeah, like
make a card or do something, hand out your stuff, get your name out there.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And like I said, Halloween 3 has its 40th anniversary this year. I'm trying to do something on YouTube for it. So, and I'm maybe trying to work with some people and getting their input on the movie. So expect to get hit up if that actually comes to fruition.
Absolutely.
But really, thank you so much, Tim from Tapes from the Crypt on rolling through, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to like hang out, chill, you know, for the past, what is it, like 2.5 hours, and just, talk to me on the podcast, give your opinion on what's going on. And we definitely got to do this again somewhere.
Yeah, for sure,
man.
dude.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. 100%. If I ever hop on any other podcast or something, I definitely will say down the line, make sure to have both of us on. Cause I feel like there's a good chemistry here.
Hell yeah.
Rock with. So again, I look forward to all the stuff that you're doing, all the dope stuff you're doing with the clothing line, the revamping.
Yeah,
definitely good luck with everything. I'll be talking to you plenty, but again, thanks for the time to stop here. I really appreciate that, my friend.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Yeah, and everybody, watching or listening, be sure to check out, Tapes from the Crypt on Instagram, Snack Season Sauces and Tacos from the Crypt. Just give it a follow. And yeah, man, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, man. I'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right. I appreciate you, buddy.
Anytime, man. I'll be talking to you plenty. You have a good night. All right.
All right, dude. Take it easy.
Peace.